Go for it.
And now that I've said that, my body is refusing to sneeze. God damn it. Okay. Oh wait, I think I'm gonna sneeze for real now. Son of a bitch.
Come the fuck on, dude.
God damn it. It was right there. I know I need to warn you before it happens. You know what, man? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let it happen, and we'll just have to deal with it, I guess.
Welcome to Direct-to-Video
VHS?
VHS, a podcast where we pair movies like fine wine. These were kind of weird ones. Here's the thing. We're going to go into this, and it's going to be clear from the beginning that neither of us are the target audience for these films.
I have never, and it's been a grip since I watched a movie and felt so untargeted. Because I am a male in his early to mid-20s. I'm not Caucasian, but most of my interests align with those of a Caucasian male in my demographic. Pretty much everything in the world is made for me, which sucks and is bad.
And I will say this, I watch a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily made for me, but definitely isn't made to exclude me. I watched this and I was like, geez, I watch like kids shows and even like girly kids shows, and I've never felt so not
a part of this. Here's the thing though, right, is I love so many TV shows that are traditionally aimed at girls and women, but this still felt aimed at a specific demographic of child that I was never a part of.
Yeah, you ever had to watch, okay, maybe you haven't, but I was babysitting my nephew, and we watched a couple episodes of PJ Masks.
I have no idea what the fuck this is.
It's a terrible television show.
Okay, I am looking this up.
Wherein 3 children become 3 superheroes. And each episode, one of the children is doing something obnoxious, and the other one's telling him to stop it, but he does it the whole episode until they realize, no, I shouldn't do that. And then they save the day.
So this is apparently based on a book series.
That is insane. That's the craziest thing you've ever said to me. Anyway,
let me get it. I just want to say it is a French book series called Les Pyjamasques.
That's amazing. The point is, that's sort of what this felt like to me.
It felt like a TV show, but here's the thing: is
a TV show that just didn't. It was beautiful, except for kind of the faces sometimes, actually.
The faces, anytime, there's a point in the second movie where it really zooms in on some lips, and I was not about it. I was like, whoa, too close to the model.
But I feel like it's there to be pretty, so like a little girl will watch it and be quiet.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing is, there's no TV show attached to this at all.
Yeah, but there are like 6 movies.
There's like 6 movies, there's like fucking... Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 chapter books.
Okay, jeez, okay.
Oh, were you getting scared? Chapter books.
First I was scared, and then I was incredulous, and then I was confused.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, but you can have multiple authors cranking those out. That makes sense.
There was also a trilogy of novels. There's also a series of teaching kids how to read books.
Now, see, that makes the most sense to me.
Right, that one is good. There's also, like, leveled reading books for, like, schools and stuff. A magazine. Another series of chapter books.
The thing about all this stuff is that it's so female that it seems like something that would have happened 10 or 20 years ago.
Well, so that's the thing, is we have to remember that this did start 11 years ago.
Fuck, man.
That Tinkerbell came out.
You're right,
11 years ago. Yeah. So, like, we're at the zeitgeist of kind of that era of, like, late aughts, where people in every facet of media were like, we need to make stuff for girls and women. And everyone's like, what? Yeah, but I feel like...
Well, the problem was always marketing the gender-neutral stuff towards boys, is what happened.
Well, that's the thing is like...
That's the weird thing. 2008, we're still really big into, like, those, My cousin had these Nerf guns for girls.
Oh, yeah,
Just a Nerf gun, but it was pink. Like, that stuff was still everywhere. Let's
talk about the Disney Fairies franchise, which was created in 2005, so it took them a whole 3 years before they came out with the feature film, quote unquote.
Before they made a movie?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Which explains to me...
This movie doesn't seem rushed, though.
Here's the thing,
Boy, is the plot weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie's plot that I don't understand. I thought at first, maybe there was like a TV show, because it feels like there's like a TV show or something attached to it.
I don't know, it's I mean, the way it starts made me think there definitely wasn't.
Right, but then the way it treats some of its other characters, take our minds back to 2008, and then let's take our minds even further as a weird CGI baby laughs.
That baby is so weird looking. Even before the baby, though, we see the Disney fairies get their own logo, which I thought was hilarious because they were 100% sure there was going to be more of these movies.
They knew, and the thing is from what I can tell, this whole franchise lasted like 10 years, from 2005 to about 2016. So they had the Disney fairies logo lasted as long as the Marvel Cinematic Universe has lasted, right?
Yikes.
Before it kind of just, I assume, faded into obscurity because all of those little girls became adults or teenagers, at least.
Right.
So...
Stop being quite so into...
Fairies.
Tinkerbell. Jeez, I almost said Cinderella.
I'm curious if there is now, in a certain generation's mindset, this idea of a fairy girl, the way we have, like, horse girls and dolphin girls and, you know?
Stop. Oh, no, I know what you mean. Okay.
What the hell did you think I meant?
Well, when you said dolphin girl, I was like, do you mean mermaid?
No, I do not.
But no, you mean like when I was a kid, there was a girl who every day pretended to be a horse at recess.
That's not quite what I meant, but it fits that kind of... I think there was always this, like, subgenre of interest.
Right.
That I feel like target... Like, I know that I remember when I was a kid, all of the boys were into Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, there is a generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kids.
Yeah, that's true.
One of them is sitting here right now.
Is it me?
It's you, Tony. This is an intervention.
I feel like we're getting off topic.
Right, so Disney Fairies, the cinematic universe, starts with Tinkerbell in 2008. Let's talk about this baby and this creepy CGI baby. Florence from Florence and the Machine, I assume, is doing the narration because whoever this woman is, her voice has such a dreamlike quality to it.
Can I tell you why this scene sucks?
Go for it. Is it because the baby's laugh haunts this song for the entirety of the song? Because that's what bothered me.
No, it's that it is... Tying fairies to humans brings up, like, a lot of uncomfortable questions. So a fairy is born the first time a human baby laughs.
Yes.
That is fucking weird.
Uh-huh.
And it means that there are exactly as many fairies as there are humans. But a fairy's job basically seems to be dealing with nature.
Yes.
And humans traditionally do the opposite.
We're kind of very anti-nature.
Just like off the bat, it was super weird. Also, I don't know what I expected from the top of this movie, but it was not watching Tinkerbell being born.
It's such a weird thing. You don't expect this movie to be an origin story. Nobody has ever sat down and gone, but where did Tinkerbell come from?
I think somebody did say, I think there's like a throwaway line in a Peter Pan book about where she comes from. I had assumed this would be about Tinkerbell after her adventures with Peter Pan.
After Peter Pan decides to, grow up.
Or like during. Like, maybe she has other shit going on. It would be interesting to see Tinkerbell with other shit going on every once in a while.
The logistic of this movie, though, is that this all takes place before Tinkerbell goes off and has fun with Peter, right?
Yes.
Which, what happened? Was she ostracized by the fairy community? Or maybe the fairy community collapsed down to its barest essentials, and that's why World War I happened. Because there was no one around to take care of nature, so humans were allowed to run rampant.
The point is, a burst scene seems weird. It's unnecessary at best. And at worst, literally the most confusing thing about this movie, because every time Tinkerbell has a problem, I think, well, she's been alive for 14 hours.
That's the thing.
So
nobody explains to her anything, and yet they are always surprised when she doesn't know something. Like,
she's fucking new here.
This whole movie could have been solved if Pixie Hollow, the name of the fairy community, is Pixie Hollow. If Pixie Hollow had like some sort of a public schooling system that wasn't just sorting hats. Okay. So the baby laughs. Florence from Florence and the Machine is like, oh, who takes care of nature? Fairies.
Yeah, and we're not going to get into why all this narration sucks all the time.
It's so long, and it goes
nature
on for
Nature can
so
take care
long.
of its goddamn self.
Like,
also, it goes into like this song that's vaguely Celtic.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of into the song.
I don't know, it sounded like a fake version of real songs
but
I've heard.
But that's why I didn't like it. I was like,
yeah.
Why couldn't they just get an act? It was like, is there not like a Celtic song that they could have used about like mystical nature shit?
Tinkerbell is like represented as
like a dandelion fluff, right?
Yeah, the dandelion fluff lands, and it becomes like this girl. It becomes Tinkerbell.
It becomes it just becomes it becomes Belle, because that's her name. We find out that her name is Belle.
Okay, wait. But the thing I hate about that is at first I was like, oh, that's clever, and then everybody calls her Tink the rest of the movie.
Which would be
I was like, what the fuck, guys?
What would it be like if me, a man named Andy, got a job as a janitor, and everyone called me Jan. Hey, what's going on, Jan? I'd be like, hey, what's going on, dick fuck? Student? I'm gonna call you Stu, because you're an asshole. That's not my name, it's my title. Everyone calls her Tink, and it's so weird.
Especially because later she, like, pushes against being a tinker.
Yeah, and everyone still calls her Tink, and it's like...
Nobody calls her Belle.
Nobody calls her Belle. It's crazy.
The one guy with the glasses calls her Ms. Belle sometimes.
And we'll get into that guy, because that guy's weird. That his whole thing. Every time he shows up and talks, I just really want to listen to "I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles." Like, his accent is perfectly that song. I just kept waiting for him to burst out and sing it.
So Tinkerbell is born, and like every fairy is watching her. By the way, every fairy knows her and is watching her, so like, good first day, I guess.
Shouldn't there be like billions of fairies? Not billions, obviously, I'm being facetious, but a lot of fairies.
No, but actually I think billions.
Billions it's a lot. I still think it's too many.
I like one for every time a baby has laughed first time,
you gotta
right?
think a lot of babies just haven't ever laughed.
Holy shit.
So here's a fun
fact.
Hey,
Andy?
Yeah, what's
Thanks
up?
for introducing the most depressing idea to me.
No problem. But I will say this. This is something that I do think is interesting, which is that I believe in certain Native American cultures, when a baby isn't, like, truly born, quote-unquote, like, when a baby's born, it's born, but it's not celebrated until a baby laughs for the first time, because that's, I think, in Native American culture, a sign that it has been chosen by a spirit. I don't know the terminology, because I'm not Native American, but I remember reading a very interesting story, a short story, written by a Native American about the whole experience, and I remember thinking that was super cool. But this isn't super cool. This is kind of the opposite of that, where she just wakes up and is being just watched by like 5,000 fairies.
Yeah, and they give her this what do they call it? She has to like choose her calling.
She has to choose her talent.
Her talent.
They literally just call it her talent.
They call it talent the whole time, which makes it way worse later.
All of the other talents have orbs. Like, just orbs. And then there's just a hammer.
I thought she was gonna be like a murder fairy.
I thought that my first thought was, because I'm a genius, I'm a great writer, is obviously she's not gonna get picked by anything.
It took her so long to get picked by something, I just assumed she was going to be an outcast.
Right?
I put it in my notes. I get it. She's gonna be an outcast.
I did the same thing. I was like, but I also got mad at because in my opinion, there should have been a little gas lamp, and that should have been her talent, is gaslighting children. Because that's all she does in the Peter Pan movies, is fucking gaslight Wendy like a motherfucker.
Also, this was the moment that Lucy Liu was going to be an anti-hero wind fairy, but I guess she's more of a villainous wind fairy.
Is that Lucy Liu? I thought Lucy Liu was the water fairy.
No, Lucy Liu's the bad one.
Really?
I believe so.
I thought Lucy Liu was the water fairy. Well, I need to double check this, because
That's what I found when I looked it up, but I couldn't... now that you questioned me, I can't swear by it.
I'm going to the wiki. Nope. Lucy Liu is the water fairy.
Who's the wind fairy?
Pamela Adlon, who is just a voice actress.
Well, that's weird, because you know what? That character is in the next movie, but didn't say anything, so I just assumed
it was Lucy Liu.
Back.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I remember looking in the credits for the first movie that Silver Mist, who is the water fairy, was Lucy Liu. Okay. While we're on the topic, though...
Kristen Chenoweth is also in this. That's
Kristen Chenoweth.
The voice I picked up really quick.
Like Raven Simone from That's So Raven is in this.
Yep.
Mae Whitman is playing Tinkerbell, which is a pretty damn good get. Like, she's a fantastic voice actress.
So Tinkerbell becomes a tinkerer.
A tinker fairy. Yes, she's chosen by a hammer. Can only be wielded by the worthy. She is henceforth known as Tinker Bell. It's a core joke.
That was good. That was good.
But the entire time that she is getting chosen by the hammer, there's this stick in the mud rival fairy who's like, I don't like the cut of this new girl's jib, which is like kind of like saying, I don't like the look of this baby.
I hate this baby.
This baby fucking sucks. This baby's giving me the fucking stink eye.
And the crazy thing is, when you actually hear about like what all of her duties are, I don't understand how she can be like a
rival.
No,
a character.
No, I don't understand how she can be like unsure of herself enough to be like picking fights like this, because she literally brought Tinkerbell to the tree because one of her fucking jobs is, if there's a new fairy, you have to use the wind to catch it and bring it all the way to Neverland. I don't know, man. I don't know what her fucking deal is.
The problem is that she has about 10, 11 lines in this movie.
She's kind of like the second or third most important character, but they don't spend any time on her.
The thing is that here's the thing, and I'm just going to say this outright. This is a movie where not a lot happens for a very long time, and then a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter happens all in a row, and then the movie ends. And yeah, so she's a tinkerer, which is code for she's a nerd. She's one of the nerd fairies.
And as I watched this, I thought, man, it was close to the end that I came to realize that somebody decided to make a movie about Tinkerbell getting into STEM, and like, I couldn't decide how I felt about that.
Because on the one hand, it's good, sure.
Here's the thing. It's not a bad idea. Okay, let me see if I can just find my note, because I remember getting real annoyed by this. Okay, yes. So it has this weird at odds message that one, STEM is as glamorous as any other skill. And two, if you're not good at something, you shouldn't keep trying.
Yeah.
But like, she's good at tinkering, and then nothing. She tries to learn other skills and she can't, and everybody just tells... It's hard to write a movie where the point is to accept what you have and not want more.
It's a very Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty shitty message, and I sort of understand the message they're trying to get across.
They really trip over their own feet. Maybe they should have tinkered a better story. So,
right. Anyway, the Tinkerers tinker to
their job is to support the rest of the nature fairies by building the tools and supplies that they need to do their job.
I can understand why that doesn't seem glamorous, but here's what I thought. I thought those fucking winter fairies, they get 3 seasons off And I bet Tinker Fairies are working all the goddamn time.
Seriously, though.
Because they're IT, and everybody else has, like, specialist stuff that only comes up once a year.
What I think they're doing, those 3 months that they're supposedly have off, is they're actually just working for the next season change. Because from what I can tell about the way that the Fairy Society has set up working towards setting up the next season is to have no room for error, no room for schedule changes, and no room for any form of mistakes whatsoever, because they are done the day it's due, no sooner, no later. And if anything at all goes wrong, the world and society just collapses.
Which is crazy, because I know that you haven't lived really lived in a place with seasons.
I thought you were going to say, I know you haven't lived very long.
I was going to say very long in a place with seasons, but I decided that, like, whatever, I'll switch halfway, and it made it a weird sentence. But spring doesn't always come the same goddamn day. It has snowed in June. So, you just gotta roll with it. Sometimes it's late. The fairies as, like, weird clockmakers is weird.
It's definitely not something that makes any goddamn sense. So, this movie, I feel like, is a movie that was maybe written by a lot of people. Because it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But the person who was in charge of writing the jokes for this movie...
fucking solid. Right?
Must have really loved their job. Because every once in a while, this movie throws out a joke that is subtle. It's a lot like a nice flower arrangement. When you notice it, it's beautiful. But it's not meant to be noticed.
There are some good, solid jokes in this movie. It's basically the thing that made me unable to hate it. Is that somebody was sitting down and just banging out some good comedy.
It very much feels like they had a room full of people who were like, God, how do we make... We're all a bunch of dudes and we're trying to make stuff for girls. And then there was one guy who's like, you know, this is a good time for me to do a good solid 5 minutes of material. The reason I bring this up is because I think the first joke that we get is the mouse. When Tinkerbell asks if the mouse's name is Cheese, and Goggles' response is, well, it must be. He always comes when we yell it.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Fantastic. Mwah. Beautiful. Like a highfalutin meal. I don't know what fancy food is. I was going to say spaghetti, but don't know if spaghetti's fancy or not.
Spaghetti, I mean, you can eat spaghetti at a fancy restaurant, but
I just found out
one of the
what a
cheaper
panini
meals
was.
you can make.
So
wait, what was?
A panini.
You didn't know what a panini was?
I always thought it was like a grilled cheese sandwich.
It's kind of like a grilled cheese sandwich.
But yeah. But apparently it's not a grilled cheese sandwich.
It's like flatbread, but grilled, right? That's this whole thing.
I don't know.
Oh.
I was told it was just a sandwich pressed between hot metal. We get into a brief cart chase.
Yes, they're Tinkerbell and her new friend, who we haven't really introduced. There's Glasses Guy, who has these glasses made out of leaves and dewdrops, and big like dumb guy.
It's small funny guy and big dumb. It's of Mice and Men. It's of Mice and Men. It's Timon and Pumbaa.
Have you seen Of Mice and Men?
I have read the book. I know how it ends, but
I don't think Of Mice and Men is a small funny guy and a big dumb guy. That's not how I would describe Of Mice and Men.
The point. It's Timon and Pumbaa.
Remember when the small funny guy shoots the big dumb guy? Hilarious!
Oh,
they just want to farm, but the big dumb guy accidentally kills a chick. The dumb kish.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
The point is, it's a trope. We've seen it before. You know, if you take out the murder and the other murder.
2 murders. Yep.
Well, I guess the second one was more of a mercy kill murder.
And the first one was kind of manslaughter. I mean, he didn't.
Yeah, it was definitely manslaughter. It was not intentional. But if you take that out, it's just a big dumb guy and a tiny smart dude.
I don't think the other guy was tiny either. He just wasn't.
He was just
huge.
regular sized. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not... Whatever.
They get chased by these weeds.
Yeah, by thistles. They're just called thistles.
Yeah, I chase them into town, and the Tinkers start passing stuff out. I don't remember what happens in this movie, jeez.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, never have a movie's stakes been so confusing and also so low.
Well, okay, this is where Tinkerbell learns about sort of the outside world.
Yeah, other fairies show off their talents when they pick up their stuff. Raven-Symoné sucks up a rainbow.
Right, but it's not really their talents that she's interested in. It's the fact that they all... Fuck, I forget that she doesn't even learn that she can't yet.
They have to go to the mainland.
And she's super excited about the mainland because they make it sound awesome, even though, as viewers, we've been told that Neverland is the place to be.
So this is the thing that confuses me, is Pixie Hollow in Neverland?
Yes. She flies past Skull Rock at one point.
Oh, does she? I didn't see it in the second movie, so when it popped up in the credits, I got really mad. I was like, we didn't see Skull Rock! I must have missed it. Then I have to assume Pixie Society must have just collapsed at some point before she meets Peter Pan.
Okay, you can assume that. That's pretty fucking dark, but fine.
Also, she doesn't talk.
Maybe people can't hear them.
At one point during the dialogue about the mainland, Tinkerbell describes it as sounding flitterific, which was delivered in a way that made me think, oh, that's like a thing from the TV show. It wasn't until after this movie ended that I looked to see if there was a TV show. And there isn't. So this entire time I was watching the movie, occasionally in my notes, I'm like, is that from the TV show that I assume I haven't seen?
Tinkerbell has a brief interaction with the Wind Fairy, too. And
yeah,
it
evil
takes
stepmother
her, like,
fairy.
a super long time to realize she's being insulted.
Well, she was just born, Tony.
I know, but it takes her such a long time. And the Wind Fairy seems to think it's going to be fucking hilarious when Tinkerbell gets disappointed that she doesn't get to go to the mainland.
Man, you know what's funnier than a small guy Mercy killing his large best friend?
A lot of things.
Watching a newborn child's dreams get crushed publicly by the godlike queen figure.
Well, that's the thing.
Tinkerbell
makes a bunch of stuff that she wants to use on the mainland. And the queen tells her, you're not going to the mainland. That's, like, Tinkers don't do that. And she's, again, pretty cool about it. But, you know, it sucks. Also, the stuff Tinkerbell makes doesn't work.
Yeah, not a lot of testing went into that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of R&D.
Again, though, she's very disappointed. I know she wants to prove herself, but I keep getting stuck on it's her first day alive?
Yeah, she's
been alive
born.
For, like, 10 hours?
The movie doesn't explain to us why Tinkers don't get to go to the mainland.
I think they're just not needed. This is another thing, though. I couldn't understand the whole time why she couldn't just go anyway.
Right, that's the thing, is why can't she just fucking go anyway? But also...
I guess in the second movie, it's sort of revealed that fairy dust, which makes them fly, is rationed.
Yeah, so I guess nature fairies must get larger rations because they have to go so far.
Yeah, for like when they're going to the mainland.
But do they have to go to the mainland every day?
No, I think there's a big trip to the mainland, and then they probably get more dust for that trip.
The movie doesn't go into the logistics of how any of this works.
No, it doesn't. That's just me putting together what I believe to be true.
Yeah. So the movie doesn't ever explain to us why Tinkers aren't allowed to go. Just that we just have to, because they tell us to, like, they just don't go. That's just the way things are, Tinkerbell. But before we even get to that point, though, Tinkerbell finds some human stuff, and that's a pretty good scene.
Yeah, I forgot about this, because the human stuff disappears for a bit, or gets taken away for a bit.
Yeah, it kind of gets taken away, yeah, and isn't a thing for a good portion of the movie. But it was one of those things where I knew it was going to be a big deal, because they're not called human stuff, they're not called trash, they're not called garbage, they're called lost things, but with like a capital letters. Which
made me think of Lost Boys.
Right, exactly, that's what I was thinking too, so I was like, oh, word association, that's a fun game. I love doing it as an educated viewer, so these things are important, but then they're just not in the movie for like another 45 minutes.
They're setting it up. They're Chekhov's gunning it.
After Tinkerbell gets it into her head that she's going to make a bunch of stuff that she wants to use out in the mainland, we have like a montage of her working on that stuff. But the thing is that we actually don't know Tinkerbell as a character yet. Like, she was just born.
Throughout this entire movie, we don't really get her as a character. I enjoyed the second movie more than I expected to, because
Agreed.
Tinkerbell had a personality.
Almost completely ancillary, like it almost all of that character that she has in the second movie seems to go against everything that she barely develops in the first movie, though. And we'll get to that.
Yeah, but, like, also, by the end of this movie, I am fairly certain she is, like, 5 days old.
Yeah, it's not the time. Something I do like about the second movie is there is a sense of time. It pisses me off, but it's there. This movie, it feels like it takes place over the course of maybe a business week. But usually in a movie, when we have a montage of a person working on a thing, we don't care about the thing they're working on. It's kind of just a shorthand for, like, let's take a brief look into this person's process. But Tinkerbell, we don't even know how she thinks, why she does what she does, because we don't know her as a character, so we don't get a glimpse into her process. We just get like a weird time lapse of her making stuff that we don't know what it does, because it's weird, like fairy invention stuff.
That's a good point. So we don't care about the inventions because we don't know what they do, and we don't care about Tinkerbell yet
because we don't know why she ticks.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's one of those scenes that, like, it's there because she can't just show up with stuff that was built because she hasn't built anything because she was just born. Like,
well, that's the thing. Every time I saw one of these, I feel like I wasn't analyzing it because I kept thinking, this is her first day alive. She needs to chill for a little bit.
Maybe she just needs to, like, let herself be alive for maybe a month, maybe a year, actually. Just get all those 4 seasons of experience.
Yeah, why not?
So the queen shows up with a bunch of other bozos that I think in the second movie, or at the end of this movie, I put together that all of these fairies following the queen around are fairies of various seasons.
Right. There's the one that we're, like, formally introduced to in this one, which is the
spring fairy.
Yeah, it's the spring fairy. I don't remember if it's in, I don't think she's in this. I think it's in the second one that Mary... No, it's in this one, too.
Yeah.
Mary has, like, a... Fairy Mary is one of the characters. Mm-hmm. I think... It seems to me that if somebody has fairy in their name, they're important.
Yeah.
It happens a couple times. Fairy Mary seems to be sort of a bean counter. Somebody whose job it is to make sure everything's going smoothly. She's the head of the Tinkers. So.
Yeah, she's the head of the Tinkers, so it would make sense that she's in charge of logistics and all of that nonsense.
But she seems to report directly to the Queen, too.
The Queen, yeah. Well, because she's in charge of the Tinkers.
Right.
There are also, we get a brief glimpse of them, there are also fairies who are in charge of all of the talents, and they are different from the fairies that are in charge of the seasons. That one took me a little while to put together. It wasn't until the second movie that I figured that out. The second movie is what made me figure that out, because they introduce an autumn dude who's in charge of autumn, who looks like spring guy, but with like a different costume. They both have a very, what's the guy from Swan Lake? That guy? They both have like his look. The steward guy.
Oh, yeah. They're like tall and thin and bony, you know. What the hell was his name?
Always worried.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what his name is. Yeah, exactly. They have that sort of always worried thing.
That stewards to queens have.
Well, because they're only there so that you know when something has gone wrong.
Spring Fairy mentions that once the Everblossom has bloomed, all right, that is the beginning of spring.
I get really mad whenever they acted like nature was like a definite thing. I couldn't let myself get too mad because I couldn't throw away the conceit of the movie. Because the conceit of the movie is that fairies make nature. But also, I would be like watching them paint ladybugs and thinking, ladybugs do this themselves!
They are pre-built, painted.
Yeah.
They come with the paint applied.
I had to like stop myself, like, this is for 5-year-old girls. Just let them paint ladybugs.
But it is absolutely infuriating.
It's very annoying.
There's a part later in the film where they're teaching birds to fly, that sentence in and of itself, like, where's the mom bird in all of this?
I don't know. The other thing is they only ever seem to help out like small animals.
Baby animals, yeah.
No, not only baby animals, but like small animals like mice and
mice.
Small birds.
Squirrels, a squirrel. Tinkerbell makes a squirrel cry in this scene. She hits it in the face with a nut.
That was good. That was like a solid bit of comedy too.
That was a great. The timing, everything about it was fantastic.
it didn't make me laugh, but I was watching it and I thought, like, that looks like how a kid would react to getting hit. Where, like, the squirrel was shocked and just sat there for a little while and then started crying.
Once it realized that everyone was expecting it to cry, it was like, all right, time to play the part. She paints blue all over the season. Spring man, spring boy.
Yeah, spring fairy. He's like the master of ceremonies for spring.
Yeah.
But if we call him MC Spring, I'm not... Like, I don't think I'll like that.
I will. I have to now, though. So MC Spring gets covered in blue paint, and there's this little bit throughout this whole scene where Tinkerbell's showing off of her inventions to the Queen, where the musicians will start playing and continue with the Queen ceremony, but then get interrupted by Tinkerbell. And when she sprays the MC with paint, they start playing again, and he's like, no, not this time. That was very funny. Good timing. Whoever was in charge of the jokes in this movie really nailed it. So good on them.
It has some good jokes. I wish it had been tied together with a plot that made sense.
Later when we have the trying out talents montage, we get like a rapid fire jokes, like 5 in a row.
My favorite joke is actually, I'll just say it now. It's right before the trying out talents thing. She talks about how she wants to be a nature fairy, how she's like so in touch with nature and she loves animals. And a bug crawls on her and she's like smacks it.
She just just flicks it away. It's fantastic. And flicks it away,
and everybody's just staring at her.
Like, with a look on their face of like that you get when you hit a dog with your car. Like, oh my god. This is the first big time in the movie where the Queen is like hand on the shoulder. Oh honey, hasn't anybody explained to you that Tinker Fairies don't go to the mainland? Well, of course no one has explained. You were there when she was born. Not 2 seconds ago. A day has passed, according to this movie.
I don't even think a full day has passed.
No, because nighttime happens and then day. Remember when she's inventing all the shit?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. God, I have no idea the timeline of this movie. The point is, yeah, she's been alive for like a day. So, yeah, maybe explain shit to her. I wish there was shouldn't there be like a training video that all the new fairies get?
Yeah, you gotta walk in, you have to answer a little quiz on paper, and until you get all of it right, you're not allowed to leave.
So you take a picture of the rulebook with your phone, and you just check your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like there's anybody in there watching you. We just had a video, right?
Just
and they have the video
all
playing all the time. Yeah, it doesn't stop, so you just wait until the video starts again.
That's some fucking Clockwork Orange shit.
Yeah, man, it's awful. I hated it. Both of my jobs that I had to do that for did that, where they just let you watch the training video as many times as you have to answer all the questions properly.
That sucks. But also, then she would know that she's not going to the mainland without having the Queen have to tell her in front of every other fairy in the world. In Neverland. I assume there are other fairies in the world.
So here's the thing. The movie doesn't explain why Tinkers can't go to the mainland. But it doesn't even give a reason, an arbitrary reason. Like, it could have just been like it's too dangerous, and because Tinker Fairies don't have powers...
No. But it's not too dangerous, is the thing. I think the only reason they don't go to the mainland is because they make stuff. And they make stuff and they give it to people. And then those people go do their jobs, which is like growing flowers or whatever. And they use they use the fucking iPhones or whatever that the Tinkers made them. And the Tinkers don't have to physically be there.
Remember, until Tinkerbell invents the industrial process, Pixie Hollow hasn't even reached the industrial era. That happens at the end of this movie.
But what they have like tubes that can trap light, or that can hold trapped light. The Tinkers make those.
Yeah, but the light fairies can just do that themselves.
But if they want to keep it in a tube, Andy, they have to get it from the Tinkers.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Does it not make sense, Andy?
Wouldn't you want, what if your shit breaks? Wouldn't you want at least one Tinker there whose job is just, all right, if anything breaks while we're out here in the mainland, just bring it to me and I'll fucking do that R&D shit right here, right now.
Let me tell you, Andy, the answer is apparently no.
I just wish there was any reason, because the entire movie, every time she brings up that she wants to go to the mainland, everybody's like, oh, but everyone knows Tinkers can't go to the mainland. And it's like, just give me something that I can latch onto.
It seemed really weird as I was watching this that, like, are Tinkers also allowed to take a vacation? Or, like...
We know that the goal of the movie is for Tinkerbell to get to the mainland, but as if the movie doesn't give us a reason why she can't go in the first place, it's not a tangible goal. Mm-hmm. It's not, because there's no problem to solve.
She blows off work a lot. Why doesn't she just blow off work and go to the mainland?
Right, I thought that maybe the movie would end with her running away or something, but no, she just does her job. The whole movie is just, Tinkerbell, why don't you just do your job? We rely on laborers here in Pixie Hollow.
All right. This is
fucking exploitation bullshit.
I cannot stress enough how much I'm not sure if once again we should go down a whole route of, like, bring rise to the proletariat and seize the means of production on this podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm against the idea in theory, but as just for movie review purposes,
I just want a reason. Just give me a reason. Give me something to latch onto as a viewer.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Can we say it doesn't make any sense and move on to the next scene?
So all of the other fairies are, like, worried about Tinkerbell, but not worried enough that they want to go talk to her about it. This is when Tinkerbell decides she has this brilliant idea, because Fairy Mary tells her that unless she learns how to be a nature fairy, she should just stick to what she's good at, which is being a tinker. We haven't seen her be good at that either, just by the by.
No, but I think we haven't seen her try, really, is the idea. Like, she threw some shit together last minute, but she hasn't been doing her regular-ass job. I want to ask a question, because she goes to find her 4 friends.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, and what I want to ask is, why do all these fairies hang out together? Because the different jobs seem super cliquey, but this one water fairy, light fairy, animal fairy, and I don't know, flower fairy all seem to hang out together
all the time. They're like the cheetah girls of fairies.
Wow! Raise your hand if you thought that reference was gonna be Cheetah Girls. Nobody?
It's 2008, man. You gotta cast your mind back. I could have gone with the Spice Girls, but I think
thought you were gonna do Sex in the City.
There are like 5 or 6 Spice Girls, but there are 4 Cheetah Girls, so that's why I went with that one.
Are there 6 Spice Girls?
I don't know how many Spice Girls there are. Definitely more than 4. I think there's like 7 Sex in the City women, isn't there?
No, there's 4.
Oh, what about Golden Girls? There's 4 of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the Golden Girls of fairies.
Okay.
I mean, I guess they're not elderly women, but yeah, still, whatever. You get my point.
Who would Betty White be in this movie? You know, it's not important.
Lucy Liu. She'd be the water fairy, because she's kind of airheaded. Are any of the Golden Girl... I know none of the Golden Girls are. Are any of the women from Sex and the City black?
No, I don't think so.
I think we're going to have to stick with the Cheetah Girls then.
You know, when you're right, you're right.
I'm so sorry.
I have not maybe ever been so, like, felt so out of sorts and off track on this podcast. What the hell was happening? Oh yeah, the 4 girls. Just like the Cheetah Girls. Right. Yes. Tinkerbell convinces them to try to train her. The water fairy decides to train her.
First, yes. You ever heard of a dewdrop? Well, this is a don't drop. Quality pun work. Feels really good.
I didn't particularly like the pun, but I like the next line where she says, "That's water fairy humor." And then Tinkerbell waits for like a second and then says, It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
A lot of great dialogue in these couple scenes. It's kind of weird how these 4 supporting characters who we haven't really met at all have suddenly become integral to the movie. But it's okay because they stop being integral pretty quickly after this scene is over.
Well, it felt like they were trying to introduce them for later movies.
Yeah.
Which is why I felt really weird when they didn't use them for the next movie.
At all. Instead, they use a different character that is introduced in this movie. That is wild.
But even less used.
It is insane. That character has 2 lines in this film.
It was crazy when they introduced that character because I thought, this is really late to introduce this guy. technically, we see his arm in the last scene.
Yes, we also technically see him at the beginning, near the beginning of the film, when all of the fairies are going to see the new fairy.
So. He's easy to pick out because he literally looks like a gender-swapped Tinkerbell.
Actually, he kind of looks like Peter Pan, which is weird.
That's much weirder than my thing, actually.
Yeah.
Because that brings up a lot of, like, weird issues with Tinkerbell.
But he definitely he definitely dresses like a main character, is what I'll say.
Oh, yeah, he's got an acorn hat. Come on.
He's got an acorn hat. He's got accessories. The thing is that there are a lot of fairies in this movie, and you could tell who a main character is because they accessorize. All of the background fairies just have kind of a one piece.
I have to respect the "it's light" joke, which comes up next, for its blatant use of the worst kind of humor.
It is so good, and the delivery is just fantastic.
I like everybody else's reaction to it, which felt like a real reaction when somebody makes a joke like that. So they're carrying light, and somebody asks if it's heavy, and somebody else responds, no, it's light. And then everybody else kind of like groans. Yeah, like you just made this shitty joke, and they kind of appreciate it and kind of hate you.
We appreciate the work, but we hate that you did it. As a person who used to make puns all the time, I dabble now, but it used to be every other sentence, right? You remember.
Honestly, you've just been sitting here this whole time. Once you started the sentence as a person who used to make puns all the time and didn't end it with a pun, I was oddly disappointed.
I'm nothing if not retired. I turned in my badge. I turned in my pun gun. There's something there. There's something there, but it's fine. I'm not going back. It's not really explained how talents work, but I assume it's like a lot like how magic is treated in like movies with magic, where it's just if you have it, you have it, and if you don't,
you don't. But that's the thing. This whole time, they keep on calling stuff talents. And if they had another word for it, maybe I'd be okay.
Like magic?
But the fact is, talent is something you can work on to get better. That's what the real world use for that word is. So the fact that Tinkerbell is not good at this stuff, but then is told, since you're not good, you can't ever do it, really sucks. It's bad, and I don't like it.
It's very confusing for the messaging, right? But it also makes, because they keep saying talent, it makes it really harsh whenever these characters who have these abilities that she does not have tell her that she should just do what she's good at and that she should be happy doing it. Because it's like, well, of course you're saying that. You don't have a conflict, but like, what is a fairy supposed to do if they have a conflict? What happens to a fairy who quits their job?
I assume they just die.
Of a broken heart?
I mean, of like not being a fairy anymore. I think the fairies kind of are their jobs.
But Tinkerbell, after these movies, goes on and hangs out with Peter Pan for the rest of her day.
Yeah, but like, there's this thing about like Peter Pan believing in her.
So if a fairy isn't doing their job, then a fairy can only be alive if the people around fairies believe in them.
I guess. Hey, I don't know, man. Let's pretend that we're putting way more thought into this than the movie makers did.
But they should have put so much more thought into this. Like, this is the first movie in a series of fucking 6 movies. This is supposed to be them setting up a foundation for everything that comes out afterwards. But from what I can tell in the next movie, I guess they're just going to start making up bullshit from scratch at the beginning of every movie because they don't have anything they can draw on.
I enjoyed a lot of the next movie, and it's like dumb adventure bullshit.
Even though it doesn't happen until like the last 30 minutes of the film.
Well, but even in the beginning of the movie where they're like, okay, so something bad happened. Now I guess she'll go after wishes. And I'll be like, what? Why was that an option the whole time?
Why couldn't I just wish for a better movie?
Shit!
So the next day she tries again. So we're on like day 3 of Tinkerbell's life, maybe 4.
Yeah, can I say, I think this is in between them, that she gets like a talking to from Fairy Mary, and I got so mad at this character because it's Tinkerbell's 3rd, maybe 4th day alive, and this bitch is just being like theatrically disappointed in her. Like, that's her whole thing. So fuck this.
Seriously, it's like...
You're not her real mom.
Nobody's her real. That baby is her real mom. That weird CGI baby.
A weird CGI baby. It's very confusing, actually.
Now that we sit down and think about it. Which I thought we weren't going to do anymore.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll get to that one later. There's a bit in the next movie that really made me question that again.
She goes to hang out with the animal fairy.
And the animal fairies have fucking lookouts for Imperial ships.
Oh yeah, man, they're like a rebel on Hoth. They're ready. Except they stopped doing their job because they're too busy heckling this poor girl.
Yeah,
trying to teach a very shell-shocked baby bird.
Why the hell did she give her? Okay, I was very annoyed because so the last 2 times we didn't really go into this. Tinkerbell failed spectacularly in damaging ways. Okay, now this is like a living wrecking ball. And this animal fairy is like, okay, you can teach this very scared bird how to fly by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. What? Why?
If I was present for the first 2 incidents, and I was sitting around doing fairy shit, and then Animal Fairy flew by and was like, I'm having Tinkerbell train a baby bird, I'd be like, that baby bird is dead. It died the moment you left it alone. We need to go back and save this bird.
The bird never tried to fly, which is basically the reason it's still alive.
Yeah.
Because my thought was, it's going to fall.
Its reaction to Tinkerbell is the funniest goddamn shit in this whole movie, because it literally rebuilds its egg around itself. Like, I need some more time to incubate, though. I'm not ready yet.
Tinkerbell does something which, come to think of it, is actually kind of a smart move. She tries to go get a bird's help for flying, which I would say is probably what these birds should have been doing in the first place.
I mean, yeah, you want to learn from something that flies the way you do and doesn't fly with the power of bullshit, so...
Yeah. The fairies' wings are not connected to their backs. They sort of fade in. I spent a long time staring at their wings like, okay, so I guess they just kind of float there.
Yeah, they're just kind of there, but they also only work when there's pixie dust on them.
Right.
So when there's no pixie dust on them, they're basically just ornamental, like a headdress.
Yeah, so she goes up and turns out the bird's a hawk. And the hawk, which answers the question I had actually, tries to eat Tinkerbell.
So we can see that when it comes to the food chain, fairies are
part of it.
They're part of it, and they're not at the top. I can't wait for in one of these Tinkerbell movies for them to tie up the legs of a dog. Like a Star Wars. If that does happen, by the way, I totally called it because I have not seen them.
So Tinkerbell's running from the hawk, and she runs into Miscontrols the Wind, who I guess can't deal with the hawk for some reason.
They keep calling her a fast-flying fairy like that means anything to me. Like, oh, she's a fast-flying fairy. Like, all right, so she flies fast, but like, you know you can fall faster than you can fly, right, if you wait long enough. Oh, that's another thing about the hawk chase is that Tinkerbell doesn't go straight down. She kind of flies horizontally and waits for the bird to catch up to her before she decides to lower her elevation a little bit more. Just go straight to the ground. There's trees and shit.
I honestly don't know how best to deal with the hawk attack.
Well, I mean, as a human, you just gotta, like, get a stick and kind of hit it with it. You gotta hit it out of the air like a baseball bat.
I was never good at baseball.
Me neither.
Well, that's not promising. Fast flying fairy gets like, I don't remember, like gross or something from the hawk attack.
No. So what happens is Tinkerbell hides in the tree that evil stepmother fairy is in. The rival. And the rival's like, this is my tree. And then the hawk attacks the tree and she's like, you can keep it. And she like slides down the tree like a coward. And the hawk starts breaking into the tree and then she like falls out of the tree because Tinkerbell slides down after her and pushes her out accidentally. And she gets all covered in paint and stuff, I guess. And then the hawk is about to attack her, but then all of the other fairies are like, oh no, someone's in danger. So they start throwing nuts at the bird until it goes away.
Right, and she gets splashed with, like, more stuff, because they're throwing nuts and berries and stuff.
And then the other fairies start laughing at her.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Like, she didn't almost just die?
And Tinkerbell, the only one who's not laughing, who's genuinely concerned about her, gets shat on.
Here's the other thing about this scene, is that after this fairy leaves angrily after, like, yelling at Tinkerbell, the other fairies are behind Tinkerbell. And this is something, I don't even think this is the first time this happened, but it's the first time I really noticed it. Characters do just show up and disappear whenever the fuck they want in this movie.
Yeah, they seriously just, there's no consistency to them.
They weren't there, and then they were. It feels a little bit like in like Quest for Camelot when nobody's feet are actually like touching the ground because it's animated so weird.
Yeah.
Except with plot where they're just like, maybe they're over here and maybe they're not.
Sorry you couldn't see me. I was just off screen listening to your plight. It's very much that effect. It happens in a lot of bad movies, I think, when you just have somebody like, and usually their lines are like ADR'd in whatever footage they have before they just suddenly are there in the next cut. I think the movie The Snowman has a lot of that problem where characters are like not in a scene, but then they are in a scene, but then they don't matter. I just have in my notes, you would think now would be a good time to introduce some pirates. but instead...
My understanding is the pirates don't show up until a pirate fairy movie.
Instead, we get a music box. And this scene is really good. I love this scene.
Oh, where she rebuilds the music box.
Where she rebuilds the music box.
Yeah, I didn't even have this on the thing.
You were just so into the scene.
I think I genuinely was into the scene. I mostly write stuff down when I hate it.
And that's the thing is so she finds this music box and she just because it's something to do, she just finds the pieces and rebuilds it and figures out where all the pieces go, and like
it's actually like a really satisfying scene. You know, like building the music box looks satisfying.
I don't know if you've ever seen those videos on YouTube where a person just cleans something that's really old and then puts it back together.
No, but I can sort of understand why they're watched.
As somebody who watches them all the time, whenever a new one comes out, I was super into this scene. But it's also just from like a character perspective. Like this is the first time we get to see Tinkerbell think through a problem.
Yeah, we get to watch her tinkering.
And we get to, and yes, thank you. Oh man, thank you. That put the words right in my mouth. They taste delicious. So... But the thing is like we're literally halfway into this movie, and I still haven't even gotten a glimpse into like who Tinkerbell is as a character. And so as great as this scene is, it doesn't do anything except introduce a third Chekhov's gun. This movie has so many locked and loaded and ready to fire. So once again, all of the fairy friends fly out and tell her that it is a binary decision.
Again, they're there.
In this specific case, there's a little bit of setup because they're shown spying on her, but it still kind of doesn't make sense spatial-wise. It's kind of like in The Lion King when Nala's mom's neck stretches like 50 feet to pick her up from the ground. It's like that, but with 4 fairies who just kind of like, that's not where you were. But once again, they present this choice as just this binary decision. If you're so good at tinkering and you like it so much, just do that.
They keep on saying, you should like being a tinker. And the problem isn't that she doesn't like being a tinker.
Yeah.
It's that she wants to go to the mainland. That'd be like saying, so you're really good at being a doctor. Obviously, you can't ever go to Japan. And like, what does that mean?
Like, what if I want to be a doctor in Japan? Like, why can't it be both? But it's okay, because she decides to go to the last person who can help her.
I sort of understood that this was going to happen. It seems like a weird time to do it. I don't know why Tinkerbell thought this character had any goodwill toward her.
Or towards anybody, for that matter.
But, like, before she got her attacked by a hawk, I might understand why she did it. And after she got her attacked by a hawk, it seemed really weird. So she goes to the wind fairy, and I was like, you have to help me. I need to be something that's not a damn tinkerer, because I hate myself.
Oh my god, I forgot. Earlier in the movie, she tells Goggles and Big Dude that she thinks being a tinkerer is a stupid job, and they have a falling out, but it doesn't matter. Wind Fairy decides that what Tinkerbell can do is round up all of the thistles.
And guess what, guys? Second movie in 2 episodes, where it abruptly becomes a Western.
It becomes a Western, and this is a good... She brings out ninja sticks? Like, what? Hell yeah!
So, the thing about this, it's a dumb scene. She invented stuff to do this. So, like, we get to see her being a tinkerer again, like, using this cool stuff she made. And I thought part of this was going to be that she could solve this problem that nobody had ever even thought to solve before. But then, of course...
Fucking bitch sabotages her.
Okay, yes, she sabotages her, but also there should have been a latch on that gate. Those thistles could have pushed open that gate.
Okay, but also they just destroyed the gate once there was a mass of them.
Yes. I don't think Tinkerbell knew there would be that many thistles.
Yeah, but also I do think that maybe thistles are a lot like cows, if you can just get them to slowly enter a pen and just close the gate and tie some string around it, they won't go anywhere. But if you fucking have, like, a stampede of cattle, that fence isn't gonna stop them. It's gonna hurt them, but it's not gonna stop them.
She leaves these thistles on a fucking rampage throughout the entire everything. And
everything. Literally everything.
This is a G-rated movie, I believe.
Yes.
So this wreckage is very underwhelming and does not look that bad. Everybody talks about how it'll take them so long to fix this up, but it honestly looks like an hour's work. Maybe a day's work if it's, like, really bad in some places where we can't see.
You forget, Tony, but they're very little.
I guess they are very little.
What would be a day's work to us is apparently 3 months worth of work to them.
3 months worth of work.
So she gets shat on again. She gets chased out of the pride. Destruction.
Would you?
Disgrace.
Okay. I absolutely 100% knew.
Evil as plain as all of her mistakes. Destruction and outrage. Disgrace for shame. She's trying to be happy and no one is giving her an option that doesn't involve killing her dreams, so she was just bored, but it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I kind of lost the meter at that point, but...
A little bit. Tinkerbell has ruined spring. It happens. Look.
I've ruined spring before, wearing that color with those shoes, but I did it.
Wow. No. Let's just sit here and appreciate that joke.
I don't want to. Listen, Tony, I don't give myself time to appreciate any joke I make. On the rare occasion that it's bad, you just gotta keep on trucking. It's like a firefighter. You don't stop to check if that house is not on fire anymore. You gotta move on to the next one.
Is that
how firefighters
I've seen
work?
that happen, actually.
No.
I've seen the fire department start to leave a house and it starts back up.
That's not good.
No, it was very bad. They had to go in and more thoroughly destroy the house to make sure it was all wet.
So at this point, the Ever Blossom blooms in a day.
Right, it'll take 3 months to fix. The Ever Blossom blooms in a day. Tinkerbell has ruined everything. Everybody's off schedule.
They have to cancel spring. Whatever that means. At one point, somebody says, do you know what happened the last time we canceled spring? It was the Ice Age. And I was like, well, that doesn't track. You still have summer.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, there was... Actually, wait. When does this take place? Because there was a mini Ice Age during the time of Charles Darwin. Not Charles Darwin. Charles Dickens.
In the it was Charles Darwin and Charles Dickens were born in the same era.
I was gonna say also the time of Charles Darwin, but the point is Charles Dickens because he was the one who wrote about Christmas a lot.
Yeah, so that was the 1800s. I don't know what the time scale for fairies is, but yeah, we're looking at like...
Well, it has to be the time scale for Peter Pan because we see Wendy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got to be like 50-ish years before this movie.
Okay.
So that makes sense. Okay, you're right. I guess that makes sense.
I know that wasn't the joke they were going for. I just gave them unearned legitimacy, I think.
See. So then we meet Terrence. Who the fuck is this guy?
Okay.
He dresses like a main character.
He feels very shoehorned in.
He's voiced by Jesse McCartney, who in 2008 was a hot commodity. That was a real backhanded compliment to Jesse McCartney. I'm sure he's doing fine now.
Do you want to start beef with Jesse McCartney?
I don't want to start beef with Jesse McCartney, but the thing is I remember...
But there's already beef. I get it.
I remember... Guy. Listen, I don't want to get into it, but we used to be best friends. And then he became famous, and he got all uppity about it, and it just wasn't the same anymore, man. I fucking have no idea how old that guy even is. But the point is that in 2008, Jesse McCartney was like a big deal. He was in everything. He was going to be like the next Paul McCartney. And just like Paul McCartney, it kind of didn't go anywhere. But he's kind of a love interest coded character.
He's...
Everything he does.
We'll get more into that in the next one, I feel like.
Oh, hell yeah, we will. But it's super weird that they just make him look like Peter Pan. Like, he just looks like Peter Pan, but small.
I think he just looks like a male Tinkerbell, but okay.
That too. Yeah,
Tinkerbell and Peter Pan look pretty similar, because Peter Pan is elfish.
Yeah, he's got, like, that mischievous proportions. I don't... Yeah.
There's a bit... So this guy, Terrence, his whole thing is he convinces her that being a tinker's great by talking about how he hates his job. and he tricks her. And he says this thing, this is what coded him as love interest to me. He says, "You know my name." But this got me really mad, because everybody knows her name. Like, she just showed everybody knows everybody. How big is this island? I feel like everybody sees Terrence every day because he hands out the pixie magic. So, like, yes, she knows your name, dipshit.
Although, I will say, I go to, like, the same Starbucks 4 days a week, and I do not know the names of anybody handing me my morning juice, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe...
The first time somebody at Starbucks recognized my name, I moved states, so...
They started recognizing my name in my order, so I stopped going, just to make them think that maybe I have other stuff going on. But I am gonna start going back, but I can't let them. I can't let them know that I do that all the time. Tinkerbell has a brilliant idea. She's going to do her job.
Cunning plan.
But she's also going to invent the concept of industrialization while she's at it.
Look, man, win some, lose some.
Industrialization isn't necessarily bad.
No, it's good that she got the painting fairies, the, like, automatic painter thing. That was neat.
She's definitely fixing a lot of problems that you would think somebody would have tried to fix before.
There wasn't a problem before. Until she messed with the deadline. They always knew they had 3 months.
So, like a real entrepreneur, she created a problem that only she could solve and then benefit from.
Exactly. Thank you.
So Tinkerbell is...
and here's the best part. Now
Elon
they'll
Musk.
be using that stuff next year, and then she can invent the TV. Because everybody will be bored.
Yeah, because they have all this free time now.
Exactly.
And then she gets to invent propaganda, maybe start her own political party. This is all leading to the collapse of fairy civilization.
The point is she invents some shit with the lost stuff.
Oh, yeah, the lost things come back. Bam, second Chekhov's gun, fired. I forgot what the first one was.
I think this was the first one. The second one's going to be the ballerina.
I thought there was, like, another thing.
Maybe there's another thing, we just forgot about it. Okay, I want to talk about my biggest issue with this movie, which is... I really hope you're not talking because I accidentally unplugged my headphones. Which is...
No, I wasn't talking. It's cool.
So Tinkerbell can't learn new skills, as established.
Yes.
But she sure can teach everybody else new skills.
There's like a whole montage of her building shit and teaching other people how to build shit.
Which nobody else is supposed to be able to do except for her and the other Tinkers. If we follow the logic of this movie, which is like Tinkerbell can't teach birds to fly, people who teach birds to fly can't build stick stuff.
They can't learn how to tinker. Bell.
Also, at some point, the mean fairy was more or less banished.
Oh yeah, she fucking narcs on herself hard.
Yeah, this dumb bitch. She gets mad at Tinkerbell for saying she can fix everything, and is like, no, I made you ruin everything, so obviously you can't fix it. And then Queen's Fairy is like, okay, your job is now going to be to herd all those thistles that you sent everywhere.
I don't think this is what the Fairy Queen says, and I think I was very mad about it because the evil fairy says, but that could take forever. And the Fairy Queen says, well, then you best be going. But what she should have said was, well, then you better get started. I don't know why that little line change would have made me feel better, though. I think it's because it's a line from another movie where somebody says the exact same thing.
I think it is, yeah.
But I don't remember what the movie is, but I know that that's the words. Those are what you're supposed to tell people when they say, but that could take forever. Well, then you better get started. It's like something a superhero says to a supervillain or whatever. So, Narc Wahlberg gets banished.
Why is she Mark Wahlberg?
Narc Wahlberg.
Oh.
Because she narcs on herself.
Oh, now that you've explained it, I find it hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That's a podcast joke. She apologizes to Goggles and Big Guy at this point, right?
Oh, man, probably. The fact that they were fighting was never a big plot point for me.
It wasn't even really a fight. It also wasn't a big plot point for the movie. Yeah. Because their feelings don't matter. But the thing is that she tells them, I'm gonna need your help. And then Scottish guy says, command us, Miss Bell, which is a line that was written by a very specific person. That is not a good line to have. Because that doesn't even make any sense. That's not what she wants from you. Is your eternal servitude, my guy. Like, they're tripping over themselves. It's weird. Am I reading into this?
I mean, I think so.
It was just said so weird.
Either you or the writer is the weird one. Somebody's weird.
I'm going to choose to believe it was the writer. Or maybe it was even the voice actor. Maybe he just put some emphasis on it. It was one of those lines where I heard it and I was like, I didn't care for that.
Whatever, they build everything. They do 3 months of work in a day. Industrialization can help you with a lot of stuff, but 3 months of work in a day is pretty good.
That, to me, tells me that there were a lot of flaws.
Yeah, in the system.
And then after all is said and done, all of the nature fairies are like, well, you should come to the mainland with us now that you've earned your right to go by being useful. But she's still like, no, I can't go because we just don't do that. She's on board with not going.
And so Fairy Mary just gave her a job. I, for the life of me, can't tell if this is supposed to be a sweet moment or busy work to be able to get her to the mainland. I don't know if there's a rule that you're always working.
It definitely feels like both a sweet gesture, but also the politics of the situation mean that we have to give you something to do on the mainland. So yeah, Florence and the Machine comes back and we get like a montage of them going to the mainland. Not Boyfriend shows up for a little bit before they leave to give her some extra pixie dust, which we find out later is breaking the rules, but whatever. And then Tinkerbell returns the music box to a room that looks very familiar. And if the movie just left it at that would have been great.
Come on, Andy.
If the movie just left it at, wow, that room looks like the room from Peter Pan, that would have been amazing. If the movie had just left it at, man, that little girl who came to get the music box looks a lot like Wendy, that's crazy. But then Wendy's mom screams from downstairs, Wendy, it's time for dinner or whatever the fuck. And like, that's ridiculous. Because the next time Tinkerbell meets this little girl,
she's a giant bitch.
She's a huge bitch.
She's like the worst. She's like straight up the worst person.
And she almost gets her murdered like 5 times. And then she tries to get her daughter murdered and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Actually, Tinkerbell in the Peter Pan movies acts a lot more like the Wind Fairy in this, where she's like really jealous and conniving.
Maybe it's a case of mistaken identity.
Interesting. Or is it, though?
Let's go over to my new criminal podcast, Serial Season 4. That's a joke that is no longer topical.
Andy, okay. I'm so mad that you didn't have a fairy pun criminal podcast. Small crimes.
No, it can't be small crimes. Don't be ridiculous.
All right.
Terrible. It's not even a pun. For whom the bell tolls.
Damn! Yes! Okay.
All right.
For whom the bell tolls. That's good. I like that as an English major.
I like a good subtle reference in my movies.
You like a good nod and a wink. The whole nod and a wink. You know what's happening. But then when somebody just smacks you in the face.
I don't like it when somebody next to me in the theater nudges me with their elbow and goes, that's Chappie. Yeah, I know, motherfucker. I can put 2 and 2 together. That's the main character. Oh, really?
It's like, okay, have you listened to the new Bim Bam?
No.
They talk about the new pilots. One of the new pilots is about a guy who gets mysteriously brought back from the dead. Police officer who gets brought back from the dead and tries to, like, go back to his old life, but, like, stuff is wrong. And the guy who brought him back from the dead is Dr. Frankenstein. And it's like, okay, but if he was named anything else, I would have liked it better.
That's the thing, right? Is, like, even if he was just called Frank.
Or, like, Dr. Shelley.
Oh, that's good.
Right? But no, he's Dr. Frankenstein.
Or even better, Dr. Wollstonecraft, if you really want to go deep. That was her maiden name. I think she actually, after Percy Shelley died, she went by Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft.
That's a cool last name.
Right? Oh, and plus she was really goth, so it kind of fit more than Shelley did.
Absolutely.
So I think she just had to go back to the basics on that one, yeah. So yeah, the movie's over, by the way. The movie ended.
There's some illustrations that are in, like, the old Peter Pan style at the end of the movie.
They're very good illustrations. I'm really down for them.
They're quite good. I really like them, but they're not really anything to write home about if it means having to watch the rest of the movie.
No, definitely not. If the whole movie looked like that, though, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
I didn't really have a problem with how this movie looked, except sometimes faces got really weird. It's just it had such a confusion of themes. And, like, if it hadn't started with Tinkerbell being born, the rest of the movie would have been so much stronger. Because then I wouldn't have had to spend most of the movie thinking about the fact that she'd just been born. It could be her first day working and not her first day alive. Like, it could be the same movie if she was a child and then had an education.
It's weird to me that fairies are born grown up. Why couldn't she have been born a child fairy and then grown up?
The idea that there aren't children fairies is also really weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, fairies have no impact, I guess, on their reproductive cycle, since it's the cry, or the laughter, sorry, of a human baby that...
Hey, that's one of my first notes for the second movie.
Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure came out exactly a year after the first movie, so they had a very quick turnaround. Or this movie was in production while the first one was in production, which makes more sense.
At the same time, yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Oh, that would even make sense as to why that one character was sort of shoehorned in. Maybe it's because he was a big character in the second one, and then somebody from the first movie talked to somebody from the second movie, and was like, oh, shit, we sort of wrote him out.
Yeah, we weren't going to use him.
We weren't going to use him. We better have a scene with him, or else this won't make sense.
It makes me wonder then who was supposed to talk her into liking being a tinker if it wasn't supposed to be Terrence.
I feel like literally anybody else could have done it, though.
Yeah, it's true. Anybody that we've interacted with before.
I'll be honest, I half expected them to drop the changing of the season stuff, because at some point she has to fight a pirate, and I can't imagine how that matches into this changing seasons BS. But it's fall now.
So, Tinkerbell has been alive for 3 months?
Like 6 months, right? She's made it through summer.
Right, summer. So yeah, like 6 months. Well, no, she got there just when spring started. So yeah, 6 months-ish.
Yeah, about 6 months, probably.
So she's been nary a year. There's like a quilt style thing going on at the beginning that reminded me of that good Kirby game.
Oh, that's actually the Kirby game that I get maddest at, though, because it's the one where you can die.
Yeah, but that game is also fucking hard. Like,
yes, in most Kirby games you can't fall off stuff, and that game, yup.
Yeah, that game is a bitch. Despite being the most like aesthetically pleasing Kirby game in a long time, it is a bitch, especially if you're trying to get all of the things.
So as a general rule, I don't really hate the Phil Collins, somebody else singing a song thing as much as you do. But
doesn't it? But man, this song sucks ass.
And the singer referred to herself in the first person, so I was like, who the hell are you that you're singing this? What does that mean? So I got mad. Anywho, we see fairies flying around. There's the quilt thing, which wasn't bad, but after just seeing the credits of the last one, I kind of wished it was a regular 2D animated thing.
Yeah, I still think that, and I guess I haven't said this yet, but I do think that these movies would have benefited from being 2D animated films. There's a lot of callbacks at the beginning of this movie.
Get to see everybody's favorite characters.
Yeah. We get to see Terrence.
I don't remember their names.
Fairy Mary, Silver Mist, Iridessa, Rosetta, Fawn,
You're
Bobby.
Reading these, right?
I am reading these. Clank.
Yeah, we get to see everybody. Oh, it's so great.
I did not know that the Minister of Autumn, also they are definitely ministers, so he is CM Autumn. But they have names, I guess.
So on this movie starts for real, which is great. I can't remember how it starts. Literally, I have no idea. Does it start with Terrence?
I don't.
Or does it start with Tinkerbell?
I think it starts with Terrence. This movie has such a slow crawl of an opening. I think it starts with Terrence because he's talking to his buddies.
Yes, it starts with Terrence. Yeah, it's like quitting time.
Yeah, which industry sure has changed Pixie Hollow. They have a quitting time now, and they have a little whoo whistle that tells them that they're free to go. We get to meet Terrence's boss, who's a very large Scottish man, who every time he talked, I would walk 500 miles. I just love that song. But it has to be a very deep Scottish voice like those singers. Otherwise, I don't care. He's going off to meet Tinkerbell, and he's getting made fun of for it. Like, oh.
Yeah, and here's my first big note. What is the evolutionary advantage of romance for fairies? Because it has nothing to do with reproduction.
No, nothing they do to each other causes babies.
Also, come to think of it, that one guy, the guy with the glasses, commented on how pretty Tinkerbell looked. when she got changed in the beginning of the last movie. He didn't comment it, like, as a regular compliment. He commented it on, like, oh, shit, a pretty girl just walked in the room.
Yeah, it's like that scene in the movies when a woman takes off her glasses, except it's changing into a different set of clothes.
Yeah, I actually thought her original set of clothes looked just as good. But, like, it's her Tinkerbell clothes, you know?
Maybe it's just because we know what Tinkerbell's supposed to look like.
The point is, he had what seems like a biological reaction to it.
Yeah, there was some sexual tension there.
So there must be a reason for romance among fairies.
Maybe they just think it's nice.
Also, there must be a reason for male-female romance, despite the fact that most of them seem to be chicks.
That's the thing, is there are dude fairies, but they are few and far in between. They are like...
Yeah, it's like a 7-to-1, maybe.
The fact that 4 male fairies work in the pixie dust job...
The male fairies seem to work among pixie dust or tinkering.
No, because we see them kind of around.
Yeah, occasionally, but not as often as the female ones.
Terrence is going... The fact that that his name is just Terrence is weird. Like, what a generic name.
It's just weird. It's never really commented on, because it doesn't actually turn into a romance. They're very clear that they're friends.
Which I was very grateful for. I like the fact that they're just good friends.
I would be fine with them being good friends if there wasn't this thing at the opening where, like, everybody's making fun of Terrence. Because you don't make fun of somebody for having a friend. You make fun of them for hanging out at a chick's house and pretending she's your friend when really you're in love with her.
Okay, but that's not what's happening.
It kind of feels like that's what's happening.
Not really, though. Like, it really just seems like they're both just it honestly doesn't feel like they don't normally hang out that often anyway, right? Because, like, friends who hang out all the time, or people who hang out all the time because one person's in love with another person, whatever, like, you learn each other's idiosyncrasies, right? But they haven't even gotten that far yet. They're like people who hang out after work, and then everyone at their job is like, maybe those two should date. And they're like, what?
Yeah, I see what I see what you're saying. I just kind of wish there wasn't the people at the work think they should date bit.
Yeah, no, I definitely would have made the movie better without that, yes.
It seems unnecessary, because then I was thinking about what romance means for fairies, and then on top of that, there was throughout the whole movie this idea that maybe they're gonna kiss. I knew they weren't gonna kiss because it was a movie for kids.
What?
You know, it was like, it's not really billed
talking about
as a romantic thing.
What? I did not get this at all from this movie.
Sorry?
I did not at all think that they were gonna kiss ever. That never crossed my mind.
No, you didn't pick
up on No!
Really?
What? No!
Terrence seemed so love-struck in the first few scenes, I thought.
No! The one thing I thought is that every time he opens her door to say good morning, he's bathed in this, like, heavenly glow.
Yep.
I thought that was weird, but because that's from the point of view of Tinkerbell, I thought, oh, is Tinkerbell the one who's going to be, like, kind of going that direction? He just seemed like kind of an annoying person.
We don't have to talk about whether or not we ship these characters.
Okay, wait a minute.
That doesn't need to be what this is about.
Yeah, well, I listen, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I didn't sense any sort of romance between them.
To be fair, I wouldn't say I sensed it between them. I think what it felt like was Terrence is very into Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell was not. Full stop.
I just don't think... I feel like they both had their own shit to worry about. Also, I don't know, man. Like, the way Tinkerbell was, like, hugging and crying with the mirror and stuff, that was very much her projecting kind of in one direction.
I think I asked to move on.
So Tinkerbell makes a boat. She made a boat.
Oh, that's right, the boat. I forgot about the boat.
And then she breaks the boat.
She breaks the boat immediately. And she gets down on herself really quick, even though that was a pretty good boat, and she just didn't need to drive it on land.
Yeah, maybe she just could have slowed it down a little bit, put a little less wind in the rubber band next time. But this is like her big problem now in this movie, is that she just gets so angry all the time about nothing.
You know, we don't see that at all in the first movie.
Yeah.
But we do know that about Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell gets angry very quickly, and she thinks her hips are too big.
And she blames other people for her problems.
I made the hips are too big reference from the first Peter Pan movie, But I want to establish that that's not my opinion. That is straight up from Peter Pan.
You think her hips are just the right size?
Andy, no, we can't do that again. My sister told me it was very awkward when I talked about Tinkerbell being spanked.
I didn't talk about that.
It was a weird thing for them to put in a Disney movie.
And it was a weird thing for you to bring up out of nowhere right now.
It wasn't out of nowhere. I was informing you about the stakes of this episode.
Okay. They're very low stakes, just like the stakes in this movie.
Well, you gotta stop fucking referencing that thing I said, otherwise I'm gonna need to keep it in.
Okay. At this point, a messenger from the Queen shows up. She's like blowing her little horn, and she's like, "You have been summoned." And Tinkerbell's like, "Ah, shit. I'm in that big time trouble again." And Terrence, who is optimistic, is like, "Yeah, probably." So it's like we're getting character. This is character. We know Tinkerbell gets in trouble a lot. Apparently, she does have a habit of getting into incidents that have the word incident put after them.
Well, she can create stuff, and she doesn't think things through very well. These are two traits that are good hand in hand for causing disasters.
She's like Robin Williams in Flubber.
I mean, yeah, that's a good reference, and also, it's funny to me to imagine Tinkerbell as Robin Williams in Flubber, or Robin Williams as Tinkerbell in this movie. It doesn't matter. Either way.
We get to meet MC Autumn, and the Queen is there, and Fairy Mary's there, and we find out that when autumn comes every year, that's a season of rebirth. It's when things begin anew.
Is it, though?
I'm just saying what the movie said.
Or is it the opposite of that?
Or isn't it fucking spring? I guess they thought maybe they couldn't use spring again.
They talk about how autumn is, they call it the season of rebirth and rejuvenation. Mm-hmm. But I think of it as a time when most shit starts dying.
Yeah. That's when we're getting ready for the cold, for the infinite cold. It's when we prepare ourselves for that one season. That's a reference to a show.
Oh! I didn't watch one episode of that show the entire time it was on television.
I watched the first season, and then after Sean Bean bit the dust, I was like, I'm kind of done, I guess. I was only here for Lord of the Rings, and he's gone, so I'm gone. I fucking love Sean Bean. I'll watch anything that he's in.
So, rebirth and rejuvenation.
This was when I realized that the Queen and the Autumn Fairy don't have legs. They just don't have legs. Not only do they not have legs, but every time they move around, they're literally just sliding like chess pieces. Their waist down isn't animated at all.
They're magic.
There's not even like a rippling in the cloth. Nothing. It's odd. It feels like it doesn't feel like it was intentional. It just feels like they forgot to animate it. Like there's a point where he leans forward to like open a door for Tinkerbell, but he just only his torso's moving. The rest of his lower body isn't. There's no like counterweight to his motions. It's super weird. But we get a lot of lore about autumn and how the moon, and there's like a wand, there's a stick, and if the moon hits the stick, then you get blue pixie dust, which is different from yellow pixie dust, because where fairies take yellow pixie dust from the tree to get their magic powers, they give the blue pixie dust to the tree so that the tree can become strong again. So they need it, and you can only make blue pixie dust with the moon at this specific time of the year, and then it has to hit this orb. And so, Tinkerbell, what we need you to do is we need you to take this orb and make an orb wand, because we can't use the old ones. Gotta get a new orb wand.
No, it's part of the ceremony that you have to get a new orb wand. Obviously.
And this orb is, I do not for the life of me remember what this fucking orb is called. A
Moonstone.
So the moonstone is very fragile, it's very delicate, and it can break. And Fairy Mary like does this thing where she has to count back from 10. Cause she's about to be put under with anesthetic. So, and she goes home and she's like, wow, I have to do this big important thing. Did I miss anything? A lot of lore gets thrown at us in like those 10 minutes.
No, it's pretty good. I like the setup. I like that we're told this thing is fragile.
Because as soon as they say it, you know it's gonna break.
Do you remember when we watched that fucking Swan Princess Christmas one where they didn't break the star?
Oh my god!
About how fragile it was. I was so mad.
Whenever a movie says that a thing can break easily, my first thought is like, I'm counting the seconds until that thing fucking shatters.
The Moonstone actually breaks in a great way. I love the way
it's fantastic. It's so... I wish it happened a little bit sooner in the movie, but it is great.
Because we spend a long time on the wand.
We spend too much time on the wand.
I guess she meets with Terrence, and Terrence already knows about the Moonstone thing. Or she tells him, whatever, he's excited, and he offers to help her.
Because he studied dustology.
He knows all about, what'd you call it?
Dustology. That's a line from the movie.
Right, that's from the movie. Right. He knows all about this dumb, stupid shit. So, yeah, she gets his help, and... See, that's why it feels like he's looking for a reason to hang around her for me.
Because he offers to help her?
Because he offers to help her every day. For, 3 weeks. Come on.
What if he doesn't have anything better to do?
I'm sure he doesn't have anything better to do than hang out with the girl he has a crush on, Andy.
What if she's just his only friend?
That's really sad because he knows everyone.
No, but obviously nobody knows him.
Oh my god.
She remembered his name.
So did everybody. I cannot.
Mate.
Can we
bitch.
not?
Oh.
There's nobody who doesn't remember his name. There's never a moment where somebody's like, who's that?
Who the fuck is this Chad hanging out with Tinkerbell?
Okay.
Well, anyway, he calls himself her wingman, which is a really weird choice of words.
That's I remember thinking, well, I guess a kid isn't gonna get why that was a weird thing for him to say. We see they do this cricket gag 3 times and it's not fucking funny.
It's not funny.
I got really mad.
They only do it twice, I think. No, they do it 3 times, you're right. Shit.
Because it was the 3rd time that I started getting real annoyed. We find out that Tinkerbell sleeps in that leaf dress.
Which is crazy.
It was crazy.
Although I guess...
Maybe she has a sleeping leaf dress that just looks like a regular dress.
Yeah, because she does mention that one of her other leaf dresses isn't made for travel, but also she does make a new travel outfit. She does also make a new travel outfit, I assume, for the toy line that they're going to be putting out with this movie.
The travel outfit looked like it would have been designed for the last movie.
Yes.
As a reintroduction to Tinkerbell, but not to put her in the sort of ridiculous getup
classic
that they had her in the 50s one. Instead, an updated version with tights.
With pants.
Yeah.
And shoe and boots and a hat and a poncho that does not last. I am so sad that the first thing lost in the Call of Duty of this adventure was that poncho. You will be missed. I love a good poncho, man. Not enough movies have ponchos.
I'll keep that in mind. There's a good montage of Tinkerbell working and Terrence being really fucking obnoxious. He keeps getting measurably worse.
It's one of those things where as time goes on, all of the cute little things he does just become very annoying. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, listen, motherfucker, I'm trying to do a job. I know you're doing this for fun, but I'm doing this because it's my job. This is my thing that I have to do.
Yeah, he's sort of backseat tinkers sometimes.
Mansplains a little bit.
Way he mansplains. I'm glad you were the one pointing it out because I was looking at that. I was like, is he just straight up telling her shit she already knows?
Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah, I think he is. It's good. I like it. And the thing is, yeah, they are friends. And it's hard to tell a friend to fuck off.
It is. But sometimes you gotta do it, right? Sometimes
he invited himself into her house.
And then he keeps inviting himself in every morning.
Yes. So literally every time she's awake, he's there.
They do this thing where they are finishing each other's sentences about the tea, and that was the one time in the whole movie where I was like, oh, so he is still definitely the boyfriend romance character. He's supposed to be the one that everyone has a crush on. For a brief moment, I thought maybe Tinkerbell was just going to straight up murder Terrence.
See, this is what I liked about this movie, though. Tinkerbell gets fucking annoyed at Terrence, and I like that she had some character there, which is I'm done with this fool. She tells him to go get her something pointy for the moon wand. While he's gone, she finishes it. And then he comes back with it's a compass. So it has a point on it, but at first she sees it as just a
big round thing.
Big round thing. And she gets really annoyed because even though this was just like busy work, he didn't fucking do it. So she kicks him out, breaks the scepter, and I was shocked, literally shocked, that the scepter broke and not the moonstone. I was like, what the hell? Did they really not break the moonstone? And then she kicks the compass and it smashes the moonstone.
It snaps open.
Oh my god,
and
yes.
It's so
it just
fast.
Open.
It was the greatest thing. Like, the whole scene is choreographed perfectly. It's framed, and at the moment she kicks it and it snaps open, you're like, oh right, it does that. Like, it was surprising.
It just like smack, and there's no chance.
There's nothing could have been done. So now this is great. This is like such a good place to put your character. Like, she just told her best friend to fuck off, and now she's in this position of being in the biggest trouble.
So then, what the hell were their names? You said one of them. You said Clank. What's the other guy?
Bobby?
Psh, maybe. Anyway, they come by.
Bobble. Oh, sorry.
Bobble. That
Bobble.
makes more sense.
God. I was
Bobby's
like,
not a pun.
I was reading it off of the screen, but the font is so small on Wikipedia.
Yeah, they show up to invite Tinkerbell to like a theater production.
The
theater. One of them says, I can't wait to see that scepter, and Tinkerbell just says, try.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought was an exceptional line.
A lot of good. This movie, despite having kind of the same big problems, has none of the little problems. There's a lot of great moments in this movie.
There's a lot more charm in this movie.
Yes. This movie felt like it had a lot more passion put into it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the people who were making this movie really wanted it to be the best it could be for what it was.
She has to fix the damn scepter, and the moonstone. But she ends up going to the theater because she hears Fairy Mary will be there, and she figures she can find out where the moonstone came from and get another. Turns out that was a dead end, though. Fairy Mary tells her that there's like been one moonstone in 100 years, so that's no good. But at the theater, there's Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah!
Daphne from Scooby-Doo is here to tell us a story. And she tells us a story about pirates. First time we hear about pirates.
And these are human-ass pirates. Not fairy pirates, human men pirates.
These pirates, a long time ago, stole a fairy artifact that could grant 3 wishes. They only used 2 of the wishes before they crashed. And the story tells that this artifact's still around and gives directions on how to find it. And Tinkerbell leaves before the warning, which I love. I genuinely love that. And I wish that had really come into something.
Yeah, I really would like it if it did anything. But the thing is this chant is described as being like a riddle by the storyteller, but they're pretty clear directions.
It's not a riddle, it's just straight up directions.
They are the most
clear directions. Go north until you find an island. On that island, find a stone arch. Go
cross
through
a
the
troll
stone
bridge.
arch. You cross
the
troll bridge. Exactly. Yes. Then cross the troll bridge, and I think that's and then find the ship that the sunken ship that never sank.
Yeah.
Because it's on land. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's pretty straightforward, actually. It sounds like it was written by somebody who was there. So sort of a hanging problem in this movie is that we never find out why the fairies have such specific directions to the lost treasure.
In a better movie, this myth would have been the prologue to the movie, right? Like a good Scooby-Doo opening. You see the ghost story happen to somebody else, and then the gang rolls in to hear it secondhand. So there should have been at the beginning of this movie, like, pirates with a fairy in a fist, holding a mirror.
But it's not such bad writing that I can really fault it.
No, it's just...
It's fun. It's dumb. It doesn't really work, but it makes it into, like, a genuinely fun movie.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more than the last one was.
Yeah, this movie actually has, like, an adventure, which, as short as it is, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff happens to it. We're introduced to the best named character in all of characters.
And like I said, I mean, they did some cool stuff. Like, she left before the warning. Now, the warning doesn't mean anything. Because the warning is that you can't wish for something, like, selfish or bad things will happen. But that doesn't end up meaning anything anyway.
Yeah, because she doesn't get to wish for anything, really.
Yeah, she wastes her wish, which I also loved because it was so dumb. And it was, like, 100%. Obviously, this is the first time she's wished for anything.
Yeah, right.
You can't just use the word "I wish."
You gotta keep that shit on lock.
Yeah.
So we had like 27 days of montage with her and Terrence before they got into their fight. Now she has 2 days to go to an island.
Yep.
Find a magic mirror, make a wish, and then come back. That is fucking ridiculous.
It's not enough time.
That is, but the thing is they could have made it enough time if they gave her a month to do it.
Yeah, but if they gave her a month to do it, then I don't feel like she'd be desperate enough to use wish magic.
A week, then.
Maybe a week. I don't know.
I feel like when you hear the words, there hasn't been another moonstone in 100 years, you gotta be like, man, I don't have 100 years, I have a week.
Yeah, but if she had the week to think about it, she would have just come up with the solution that she ends up coming up with by the end, which is sort of the first thing I thought of.
I don't know. She's kind of a hothead, doesn't play by the rules type, so...
Boy, if only she knew somebody who knew everything about fucking dust.
You know what really bothers me about the fact that they just call it dust? Is that that's a drug.
Yeah, man. It's a good drug. Fairy dust? That sounds... so good.
It makes you fly, dude.
Tinkerbell does not have enough pixie dust to get to the island. Although I don't know how she knows that because she doesn't know how far away it is. She just knows it's north. But she assumes, I guess.
Well, no, she drew a map.
Sure.
She drew a map. It had rum lines on it. She calculated exactly how much pixie dust she would need.
Okay. Okay.
She uses one of those map things to get the distances.
A compass?
Are those also a compass?
I believe if you're talking about the map thing I'm thinking of, it's also just called a compass.
That's crazy that they have two map things that do different things.
Both called compasses, yeah.
Both called compasses, yeah. Maybe there's a part of the play that we missed where they just give the exact latitude and longitude of the island.
Yep, maybe.
If you sail north towards 136 degrees north and 87 degrees east, there you will find a mysterious island.
Yeah, so she goes to, she tries to talk to the Scottish guy into giving her some extra pixie dust, and he won't. And she tries to talk Terrence into it, but he gets pissed at her. Also, I want to talk about Terrence for a little bit. Let's take a break and talk about T. Good old Terrence, who is mad at Tinkerbell for being mad at him for breaking the scepter.
Which, to be fair,
he doesn't know the moonstone's broken.
Was not his fault.
It's not his fault that the scepter's broken. But she spent a month on this scepter, and then it broke, and he was there, and she could yell at him.
I get that.
Yeah, for one thing, you don't demand an apology for that. You just say, it's okay that you fucking blew up. I would have blown up too.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't have, but yeah, sure.
But like, it was a high-stress situation. He was adding to the stress, and I can understand why that happened. And I don't like how he's, like, holding a grudge about it.
The problem is that I don't understand why anyone is mad at anything. I get that Tinkerbell is, like, stubborn, but it doesn't make sense that she's mad at him. It makes sense that she blew up on him, but you would think she would go back and go, maybe that was a bit too far. And it doesn't make sense that he's mad at her because he knows that that's how she is. That she just, that she can't control that anger.
I think the fundamental problem is, this is a kid's movie. And they both need to be mad at each other, but neither of them can have done something wrong.
Yeah, because they both have to be good characters.
Which sort of makes them a little
irrational
than they really should be. And yeah, more irrational. So she goes to see Terrence, and he won't break the rules for her, especially because she's just asking him to break the rules and not saying stuff like, I'm sorry, or yeah, I shouldn't have blown up at you.
Maybe start with it.
He's like the friend with a truck. And she just had a fight with him, and then asked to borrow the truck.
And it's not even his truck, though. It's a company truck, so he definitely shouldn't be using it to help her move.
Anyway, she doesn't get the truck. So, she has to invent a way for, I guess the pixie dust works longer if it's a balloon.
The thing is I don't understand why she couldn't just invent a hot air balloon, which I thought is what she was going to do. But instead she invents a hot air balloon, but instead of hot air, it's pixie dust.
Her problem is that she doesn't have enough pixie dust to get to the island. So she made a balloon powered by pixie dust. Now that seems to me to have a fatal flaw in it.
In that she still doesn't have enough. But the balloon somehow gives her enough pixie dust. It's more efficient on gas than a fairy is, I guess.
Maybe it's because fairies are always flapping, knocking dust
off. It's all that
off.
Excess motion, and the balloon just lets itself get pulled in that direction, maybe. We're 30 minutes into this movie, and Tinkerbell is leaving Pixie Hollow.
She decided to run away from her problems.
And run it towards a solution. Before she even leaves Neverland, she runs into like a group of fireflies chased by a bat. And one of those fireflies decides to starve her to death by eating all of her rations.
When this character was introduced, I expected to really dislike it.
Yeah, same. But as soon as I found out its name, I was like, endeared.
Her interactions with... You want to say his name?
Blaze.
Her interactions with Blaze are shockingly charming. It's really cute. They have a good back and forth, do Tinkerbell and Blaze. Including when she realizes his name. She's like, oh, that's kind of a tough guy name. You kind of a tough guy? That's great.
He does the little put 'em up dukums. Yeah,
yep.
That's great. It's this movie's animal companion. Although we do know from the previous movie and this movie, the animals are definitely like intelligent.
Also, Tinkerbell already kind of had an animal companion in Cheese, but Cheese always looked a little bit weird, so whatever.
And also, Cheese isn't really in this movie at all, so he was there with the boat, and now he's gone forever. Also, the reason we haven't talked about any of the other like nature fairies is because they have not been characters for this whole movie.
Yep. We sort of see them in the background of some scenes.
Gasping and being a choir.
Yeah, they're just not really around. It was sort of at this point that I realized why I like Tinkerbell in this movie, and it's because she's self-actualized. She knows exactly who she is and what she wants. And in the last movie, she did not know who she was or what she wanted.
She got pushed around by the plot instead of pushing the plot around.
Yes, it made her really not feel like a character. It made her unrelatable in a way that is kind of weird because somebody who doesn't know what they want should be very relatable.
She doesn't spend the first movie trying to achieve a tangible sense of self. Like, she spends the whole movie chasing labels and then kind of stumbles into, oh, this is who I am.
So Tinkerbell gets to the island. She thinks she sees the archway, but it turns out to be a tree. And then the balloon blows away because it wasn't, I guess, anchored correctly. And then I got very mad because in the next scene, she's chasing the balloon and she's flying against the wind, which is literally impossible.
Well, it's not a real balloon, Tony.
It's a fucking cloud. It's made of cloud.
It's a pixie dust balloon.
No, I hate it. No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Take this back.
No goddamn sense. But and then the best part is she gets hit by a leaf and then falls straight down like a fucking bullet. Despite the fact that before she gets hit by the leaf, she's really fighting to fly forward. And then she has the good dinosaur style dream sequence where
she does.
She dreams that she's hallucinating her having a fight with Terrence.
That's the thing. It's
and then she wakes up.
This to be a dream.
Why make it a dream if it
why
can
a dream? If she knows about it, like if she knows this, okay.
So stupid. I can't believe that this is the second time a movie has done this
in 2 episodes.
It's such a terrible way to do it.
Yeah, never make something a dream if it doesn't need to be.
If it's a dream and it gets to be weird. And if it's a hallucination, it stays a hallucination. But you have to accept the fact that your character's fucking insane.
Or they hit their head or something. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Either your character just got a concussion or got knocked out. I've never in my life had a dream.
What? Wait, full stop? Wait, what?
But I assume that people who do have dreams aren't standing around watching themselves in the third person interact with about and reenact things that they just did.
So sometimes when I have a dream, I can dream I can fly, but not very far. I just sort of float, which is way cooler than it sounds. It feels really good to float in a dream. One night, I was dreaming and I realized it was a dream. So I went to fly and then I fell flat on my face and was like moaning in pain, and then I woke up.
But was that all in the third person?
No, it was first person, man. It hurt. Or I thought it hurt for like a second. That's what I'm saying. That's what a dream is like.
Like when I fall asleep, all I am doing is being aware of the fact that I am lying in bed with my eyes closed. Or I'm having a very intense nightmare that I never remember. Like I just wake up and I know that I've had a nightmare because I just fell asleep and I'm breathing heavy. And then also there's like a sense of a thing that happened to me that I have to double check. Like I think the last time this happened was a couple of years ago at a very vivid like night terror, and when I woke up I was like, my arms are missing. How am I gonna do anything if my arms are missing? And then I was like awake and I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. I'd be bleeding out if my arms were missing. Also, they're still here. I've never had like a dream like in the classical sense, but I think that's mostly just because I'm so stressed all the time that I'm either not hitting my REM sleep or I'm having a night terror. So I maybe I should just be less stressed. Maybe I should.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I should get a good friend named Blaze.
I was going to say you should go to owl therapist.
Oh, also maybe, because that owl is a big mood.
Owl therapist is a very good Disney owl.
This is probably the best Disney owl I have seen in a long time. I want that owl as like a plush, just looking dissatisfied.
There's this huge, sort of ugly-ish looking owl. Like, he looks haggard. He looks like fucking,
This owl has heard a lot of people's problems.
I can't remember his name. He has 3 names. Tommy Lee Jones?
Yes,
he looks like Tommy Lee Jones. Terrence talks to him about his problems with Tinkerbell, and the owl, through saying "who" a lot, convinces Terrence that he needs to be the first one to apologize. Which isn't technically true, but if you want to make up with a friend, then yeah, you could be the bigger person, that's fine. And then the Scottish guy shows up and says everybody's making fun of him for wearing a skirt. And I like that too.
I feel like you only see this in kids' movies. It's one of my favorite tropes ever, and it's when a person goes to an animal for genuine advice, and the animal just does the same noise over and over again, but it's always the right thing that the person needs to hear anyway somehow. It's a great trope, and I love it, and I really wish more movies did it as well as this movie does it. The owl is perfect. Especially because we don't get to see the owl for a while.
Yes, we just see him talking, sort of pan out to the owl. So, Tinkerbell is out of, dust, so she's gotta walk.
She gets helped by all of the forest insects.
Which is nice. Although this does bring up a question. So, fairies prepare insects and stuff on Neverland and then take them to the mainland. Or maybe they also do the same thing on the mainland? It's unclear. Anyway, who does it here?
Yeah, who trains these? Well, I will say this, is that those roly-polies are adorable. When she yells at the roly-poly and it, like, rolls up, it was very cute.
They bring her to the, stone archway.
And her and Blaze are just on their way.
And then they get to the... I think we could just go down to the troll thing, right? There wasn't anything that happened between?
No. Very quickly, there's a cutaway to the fairies getting ready for the ceremony. So all of the fairies that we have not paid attention to at all in the film get their own scene where they get to show off. Bebop and Rocksteady are setting up the like fireworks launcher. Lucy Liu is like teaching little guppies to blow bubbles.
Not guppies,
Tadpoles. The other ones have their own thing that they're doing. Butterflies, flowers. Here's what they're not doing. They're not realizing that nobody's seen Tinkerbell in a day and a half.
Yeah, Tinkerbell, the loudest fairy.
Nothing's been destroyed in the last couple of months. Month, singular.
Do you think that's why Fairy Mary gave her this job? To get her out of the way?
Just like, as long as she's doing something very big and important, there's no way she can break anything.
Speaking of which, if I were Fairy Mary, or anybody in a position of power, I would have given Tinkerbell... I would have even done this if I was Tinkerbell. I would have had something that was shaped exactly like the Moonstone that I could use when measuring.
I would give her
so I didn't break the
fake moonstone.
Exactly, yes.
So we're at the troll bridge.
These trolls are, It took them so long to decide to sneak past the trolls. This is one of the oldest tropes ever, where there's people guarding the bridge and then they start a fight and then you just walk past them.
Yes.
But they didn't start to fight and then Tinkerbell walked past them. They fought like 8 times before. I just assumed she was going to stay there and find a legitimate way to get across.
Or wait until they fell asleep or something.
Because it was so weird that she didn't... The first time when they completely stopped looking at her to yell at each other, I expected her to be gone. But then she wasn't. And I think they just had a lot of jokes that they wanted these trolls to tell.
She just had a lot of... She was just in awe of their friendship, of the weird form of BDSM they were practicing on each other.
Yes. Yep.
You have to say the magic word. Holds his shoulder, looks deeply into his eyes. I'm sorry. Do you mean it? What a weird interaction to have.
Yeah, that was so pretty weird. Intense.
I felt like I was like watching something that was very private and that I should... Like if I was Tinkerbell, I would have been like, listen, how about I come back tomorrow? I'm on a tight deadline, but what if I come back tomorrow?
Also, it just made her feel sad about the fact that she never made up with Terrence before she left to possibly die on an unknown island.
She snakes past them onto a bridge that makes no goddamn sense. It like winds its way through a bunch of trees and then it ends up at the beach desert. And she's like, wow, we're almost there. And then they're there at the boat.
And then they're there!
It's Terrence has gone to apologize to Tinkerbell and has found out that she is gone.
And he found a shard of moonstone.
Yeah, and he was like, oh no.
Yeah, and he found her plans for the ship.
And the riddle all written down.
He's gotten everything. He put it all together. He Sherlocked it.
He came up with an asinine conclusion that didn't make any sense with the evidence he was given and then was a misogynist.
So she gets into the busted up ship, and it's nice. I mean, there's treasure in there.
Yeah, she just ignores all of those Jolly Rancher necklaces.
Does she have to fight with a rat before?
No, that's after. Okay. Terrence is there for that.
Okay, so she finds the mirror.
Yes, it's in like a pile of literal gold powder, which I love to keep next to all of my jewelry and valuables.
The gold powder really confused me because I thought it was
pixie dust. Yeah, me too.
Because, they stole from a fairy, so it's not crazy.
That they would just have a pocket full of pixie dust.
But it's not. In fact, that if that was pixie dust, it would make sense that they had crashed on land, because they could have tried to do the Peter Pan thing. Tinkerbell. She finds the mirror. She makes the typical Wisher's mistake.
Number one, the first thing, whenever you get your hands on an object that grants wishes, is number one, you never say the words, I wish, until you're ready. You throw those words out of your vocabulary. They no longer exist to you. Especially when you're holding the object.
She told Blaze, I wish you would just be quiet for a minute. So Blaze is silenced for a full minute, and she does not get to wish the Moonstone back together.
Which, by the way, good on the movie for having Blaze be silent for a full minute of runtime.
It's great.
I kind of wish Blaze would have been silent forever, just because it would have been some higher stakes. But we would have been we're way too late into the movie for something that big of a problem. Like, there's no way they could have solved that problem in the time that they had left in this movie. So we just found the treasure, and then the lost treasure. This is the lost treasure of the movie, by the way.
Yep.
And it took us like 10 to 15 minutes to find it, and we didn't do anything.
I think, follow me here, Andy, follow me. I would posit that the real treasure was friendship.
She discovers the magic.
The only ship that doesn't sink, Andy.
Hey, I'm gonna read you a line directly from the Wikipedia article.
I wish you would.
She discovers the magic and treasure of true friendship, humility, and love. That's the real lost treasure, according to this Wikipedia article. It's not cited, so, citation needed.
Pretty soon, Tinkerbell is going to make the second biggest Wisher's mistake, which I am so psyched for. But first she sees Terrence, and they have this whole conversation. She sees him in the mirror, and doesn't turn around.
I will say that the angle at which she is holding the mirror doesn't make sense to have only him in frame.
Only him and not her. Yes.
Yeah.
They have a conversation about how they're both sorry and whatever. And she says that, she's just like, I wish you were here. And he says, I am here. She says, no, I wish you were here. He says, Tinkerbell, I am here. And so it turns out he's there. But she made the second wisher's mistake, because she said, I wish you were here and that we could make up, or I wish we could make up, right? That's a huge mistake. Never wish for something you can get yourself.
Yeah, you gotta, anything that you could feasibly work towards or just grab at a Walmart, don't wish for that.
Right, never wish for a sandwich.
Unless you wish for the best sandwich ever, and then you just don't want to eat but then you can't eat sandwiches for the rest of your life, because all of them are reminders of how you've flowers of Algernon your sandwich experience. So don't do that either, unless you're just feeling risky. Unless you manage to get your first two wishes perfectly and you just have the last one.
But even then, you could wish for like the best sandwich maker.
I don't want to do that to a person.
Well, don't do it to a person. Do it to a robot.
Oh, I want a robot that only make, but it can't. Then does the robot only make one sandwich that's the perfect sandwich? Or does every sandwich the robot make be better than the last sandwich because all of them are the perfect sandwich compared to all sandwiches ever?
I think it depends on how you phrased your wish. You gotta be careful with stuff like that. That's the third biggest wisher's mistake, but we never really get to learn that one in this.
But the big one is just don't say the words I wish. Just
don't say the words I wish, just willy-nilly.
But also, I guess at that point she knew that the mirror was out of wishes.
Yes.
It's no longer a treasure, so she just breaks it.
Does she?
Yeah, at the end of the movie. She just pulls the diamond right out of the bottom.
Yeah. Anyway, then a rat shows up.
A rat brigade shows up. A whole brigade of rats. I love a rat brigade. She asks Terrence how he even got there, and he says that he took some extra pixie dust, because nothing says love like breaking the law.
I don't know. For Terrence, it's more like stealing paper clips from work.
No, it's like stealing a company truck from work. We already had this metaphor. That's pretty dope. Like, that's pretty great.
It's like stealing a company truck. If you're gonna bring it back, it's probably fine. You can't give somebody else the company truck, but you can drive it. Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he found her balloon, too.
Yeah, he says that just as he was running out of pixie dust, he got hit by this balloon. Which means he was right behind her, which doesn't add up with the timeline of events that we have set up, but it's fine.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, they fight some rats.
They fight them on top of treasure, on top of a piano, on top of some china.
Terrence uses the
sharp thing from the compass point.
Yeah, the compass point as like a dagger. Although technically Tinkerbell took it out of the compass earlier, but I don't think it had a use before now.
She uses it to cut open the bag that the treasure was in.
Anyway, it sees some use, and then Tinkerbell and
Blaze
do some shadow puppetry to trick the rats into thinking there's like a big old thing.
A big old octopus monster.
And they run off. And then I guess they get on the boat. Or on the balloon.
Terrence rubs some onto the mast and they get pulled away. And Tinkerbell's all sad because like now she cannot even come close. She can't even fix the orb. But she has an idea. I
got this idea ever since she said, way earlier in the movie, wouldn't we get more if we had 2 moonstones? And I thought, well, you do. You have like 50 moonstones, so just small.
I would also like to say, by the way, that if the whole thing is that they need to have the moonbeams, the moonstone at a perfect angle, what was it, 90 degrees or 30 degrees? Whatever.
I don't remember.
The moon is very far away from Earth, so the light beams coming off of it towards Earth are parallel to each other, which means that if you have an orb, only one part of the orb, which is a curved surface, is getting hit at that exact degree. So it would actually make more sense to have like a plate.
A flat surface.
Like a flat surface, yeah. But I guess breaking the orb and then having a diamond refract the light works too. But you could have just put all of those orb pieces onto a plate and just then held the plate up at the right angle. And you would have gotten the same effect.
I think you are underestimating the amount of pageantry that's supposed to go into this.
I mean, pageantry has its place, but they did just break the orb. So, like, do what works and then maybe add some pomp and circumstance next year. But sure, what they did works just as fine, and it has all the pomp and circumstance. Although I will say, when she uncovers the scepter that she makes and everyone sees that the moon orb is broken, Fairy Mary legitimately looked like she was going to die of a heart attack at that moment. Some good animation there.
Now we're getting close to the end here. The moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie.
That's more pixie dust. They get more blue pixie dust.
Yeah, they get more than ever.
Tinkerbell is so good that she gave them more blue pixie dust forever.
And nobody ever realizes that she fucked up and broke the orb by accident. They think she's just a genius and did this all on purpose.
So she and Terrence can live with that pressure. Also, there's a point where somebody walks up to the rival and is like, you have to admit this is pretty dope, and she says nothing. She has been damned to a life of eternal silence for her actions in the last movie, is what I'm gonna believe.
I had assumed they couldn't get Lucy Liu back, but now I guess they just can't get this voice actor back.
Maybe that voice actress was just working on something else at the time. I don't know.
Maybe.
The end credits art is some more of that good Kirby and the Magic Yarn shit.
Yep, I gotta say again, not as good as the regular 2D animation, but I'll take it.
If I had to lodge a complaint against either of these two movies, it would just be, I think they would work better if they were just traditionally animated. Just because at the end of the day, like, Tinkerbell is a traditionally animated character, and there were times in both of these movies where they would just really zoom in on her, and it's just not the same. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely not. To me, I think 2D animation is still a more beautiful medium.
I think that's fair, but I also, just in general, have bigger problems with plot stuff. And I think the second one had a fun plot. It had a lot of holes, but I think it worked. And I think the first one had not a lot going for it literally at all. The best thing it had was, like, sometimes the characters were kind of fun, but then we don't see those characters, because they're always introducing new characters, and so we don't see all of them all the time.
That's the thing, is we didn't even see any of the characters from the first movie other than Terrence really do anything. I don't know how I feel about these movies. I definitely don't like them, but they're also not for me.
That's the thing. I think if you have a child of a certain age that you would think would be into the Tinkerbell movies, let them watch the second one. And don't get them the first one, because you will not be able to sit through that piece of crap. The more we talk about it, the more I think that, like, there was nothing really offensive in the first movie. It was just not much of anything happened. And at least something happened in the second movie.
It's definitely a more coherent plot. It's still definitely way all over the place.
It also doesn't, and this is something I look out for whenever I watch a kid's movie, it doesn't give a good message.
No, neither of them do.
It's just like, you need to accept your level of talent, and you can never be anything else, which is crazy.
I feel like there was a good message there, and it just got lost in the phrasing and the verbiage of the whole fucking mess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there definitely could be a good message in, like, yeah, being a tinker doesn't seem as glamorous as all this other stuff, but it's a very useful job.
The world needs engineers.
And also Tinkerbell enjoys it. You know, it's okay to enjoy something that's not like literal magic.
The magic comes from inside.
But that is very much lost when you get through this movie.
And it's clear to me that these movies were made with a great deal of passion.
Yes, somebody put a lot of effort into these movies.
And especially because there's so many little things in the dialogue, in the animation that pop out. And you're like, the person who did that really enjoyed working on this film. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put that effort in.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be Brother Bear 2 with all the pine cones photoshopped in.
Yeah. The plot and the script are like, they're fast and loose, but there's something there. Maybe, who knows, like maybe the next fucking 4 movies, like they nail a good plot, maybe.
Maybe they do.
I did hear from people that some of the later Tinkerbell movies are great.
It seems like they're on an upward trend.
Yeah. This is definitely the first time that we've walked away from the second movie like, you know what, that was marginally better. They improved a lot. I'm curious to see where the trajectory of this franchise is going.
Hey, just so everybody knows, the last time we had a sequel that we liked more than the original was Cinderella 3.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's right. I forgot about that. I do like Cinderella 3 more than the original.
I was just checking real quick, and yeah, it was Cinderella 3, so it's been a grip.
But the original Cinderella is a beautiful piece of animation, so I'm a little...
But also it has the problem of being hella boring.
Yeah, it is hella boring, but it's so pretty.
And so boring, though. And it makes you want to fall asleep, but you can't fall asleep because you decided to do a podcast with your friend where you watch 3 of them. And the second one's a damn slog.
Oh, God, the second one is so bad. Thank you for listening to Direct-to-Video.
VHS?
Yes.
I've been your host, Tony Robusto.
And I have been your host, Andy Reyes.
So, let me mention, a couple episodes ago, I did say it was iTunes' fault that there were only 10 episodes in the feed, and turns out it was mine.
Oh, no!
Having a website is annoying.
Wow. Well, at least it's fixed.
Yep, it is. Now, we should not have a problem unless we come out with 10,000 episodes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and you can find me and that website that was causing all of those problems at spyroidtreatments.org. And you can find me on Twitter at TheaterBats.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at royalty_Valens. I occasionally post joke attempts there. I like to think I'm hilarious.
Yeah, he does like to think that. You can find a bunch of other stuff for this podcast at direct2.video, and you can mail us at mail@direct2.video.
Yeah, send us those mail. If you are the entity known as the City of Los Angeles, come at me.
Yeah, we want salty emails from the City of Los Angeles, please and thank you.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Nothing, I don't live there.
Yeah, me neither, so...
Nothing, I guess. Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, what? Exactly, see? We don't have to, we're not tied down.
I could burn this place down right now.
Well, you're still, if you did that, you're not in Los Angeles, but I think it's still a crime.
I would move to Los Angeles, the last place they'd look.
Oh, it's clever. Yeah. So, a big thanks to Lee Rosevere.
Yeah, for Planet E off of TRAPPIST-1. Is that everything? Rate us on iTunes, you jerks.
Yeah!
Next time, we will watch Aladdin, 1992.
And Aladdin.
And also Aladdin 2019.
2019.
I am the ghost of John Smith.
Ooh. Los Angeles is the worst city in America. Every time you go to Los Angeles, everyone's trying to go to Los Angeles. And every time you're leaving Los Angeles, everyone is leaving Los Angeles. So there's never a good time. Also, they just have a huge homeless problem and they're not doing anything about it. And it's just so depressing.
Now starts our beef against LA, which frankly, I'm for.
No, yeah, this is a beef that I could support. Fuck that city.